Link is the engine management solution for champions the world over. We know what it takes to win, pushing boundaries, performing under pressure, and having the best people on your team. Our tech support are performance specialists, available 24 hours and ready to talk one-on-one about your winning formula. Link ECU, the performance, reliability, and power to get to the podium.
How does one car going wild in a mall help us tell the GR story?
You're right.
We need more cars.
The Falcon Azenis RT660 is the enthusiast choice for ultra-high performance. Engineered for predictable handling and stability, the RT660 provides maximum traction both on and off the track. Your competitive edge has arrived with the Falcon Azenis RT660.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown, Jr. Come join us.
When you have a lot of money tied up in your transmission and differential in your car, kind of like I do in this one, this is a must-have. Royal Purple Max Gear High Performance Gear Oil. Even under severe squeeze film conditions caused by sudden shock, extreme high loads, or low RPMs, Max Gear helps reduce bearing wear. I am pretty sure we put this to the test more than anybody else. Slippery, synthetic, and complete with Centerlick technology, Max Gear reduces wear and friction, which allows your gears to run smoother, quieter, cooler, and longer. Drift tested and ready for your gears. Royal Purple Max Gear.
Formula Drift is brought to you by Air Force, Aim High. Type S, official lighting sponsor of Formula Drift. Lights, camera, power, fun. GT Radial, experience the performance.
Welcome out to the one, the only Formula Drift Championship. How we doing, Utah Motorsports Campus? Make some noise! Oh, come on. I just met some of you fans down there, and y'all were like, thank you so much for coming to Utah. So I'm going to ask you again, we are worldwide on our live stream, so let everybody know you are happy that Formula Drift has slid into Utah Motorsports Campus. Make some noise! That's more like it. That is more like it. All right, so without further ado, we begin our United States Air Force opening ceremonies. I'm Jared Dienda. I'll be joined by Ryan Lontaine alongside our judges Chris Yule and Brian Eggert. Thanks for joining us out here. So, if you could, we are about to see, point your attention to over on the track right in front of the main bleachers, not in front of the cars, but a little further in. You can see the young men and women wearing blue t-shirts have made a commitment to serve in our United States Air Force. To honor their commitment, would you please stand while Captain Braden Angelton from Hill Air Force Base administers the Oath of Enlistment.
Good afternoon, Formula Drift crowd. Let's give a warm welcome and round of applause for these young men and women who are about to commit their lives to the Air Force. Before I give the oath, I just want to give you some context. Thank you for your support and encouragement that has allowed us to be here today to do this openly and publicly and proudly because of our nation, and those men who are serving and women serving today can be happy to stand in front of you guys and be excited. So a round of applause to you guys for your support. Before I do the oath, what I'm asking these fine young men and women to do is to commit to the Constitution, to commit to the people who support the Constitution, the country, and the nations that we're going to protect with executing that Constitution. So I want to give a round of applause for this group right here for being committed, honored, and excited to join the military and do this thing. So one more round of applause. All right, let's do this. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name. Do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the officers appointed over me, according to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. All right, one more round of applause.
Yeah, thank you so much again to Captain Brandon Angleton from Hill Air Force Base, the young men and women. Now, if you could, please remain standing and remove your hats for our national anthem. Presenting the colors, Hill Air Force Base Honor Guard, and singing the national anthem, Master Sergeant Watson from Utah Air National Guard.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Make some noise again. The young men and women, thank you to the Hill Air Force Base Honor Guard, Master Sergeant Watson from Utah Air National Guard. Are you ready to meet your top 16 drivers, Utah and around the world? We're ready to send it for the first time ever here at Utah Motorsports Campus. And we are about to meet our drivers as they make their way off the track, the fastest track we have seen this season. This is round 7 of 8 of what we call Type S Elevated, presented by AutoZone. We kick things off with our current points leader in the Formula Drift Championship. He fought tooth and nail, took a one-more-time battle. The gentleman from San Jose, California. He pilots that Falcon Tires, Drift Cave, Borla exhaust, Heat Wave Corvette. It's the beast from the Bay, Matt Field. All right, moving on down the line, another gentleman that is in contention for the championship. He's got two wheels next to him, BMXer from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, now living in Florida, piling that Pennzoil Mustang RTR Spec 5D on BC Racing coilovers and Nitto tires. It is Chelsea Denofa. This gentleman got past a contender that is Ryan Turk, and now here he is coming to us from New York in that Power Drift Mean MA Motorsport S15. Make some noise for Mike Power.
Woo, let's get it.
You're about to feel the stoke in the M-Spec S chassis. Make some noise. He says, hello, Mom. Here we go. Ready to shred it till we dead it. He's on Koenig wheels on the corners. Make some noise for Daniel Stuke. Next up, coming to us from Georgia, he has the Intimidator graphics. His wife is spotter and his co-pilot. He's ready to shred it in his comp cams. Wild Willie, Edelbrock, Liquid Molly, Corvette, Yellow Speed Racing. It is full pole Taylor Hall. Our winner in Englishtown, New Jersey. He's in old red, new red. He is ready to greet you at the door, and he's ready to greet his next competitor. He's piling that Reader Motorsports Link ECU BMW. Again, winner in New Jersey. Make some noise for Travis Reader. Next vehicle, you can see the Up Garage IS Performance GTR powered 86 from Japan. He won in St. Louis. Can he do it again? 1, 2, 3. Make some noise for Kazuya Taguchi. Another boy from Pacific Northwest, like one of his great friends that he's actually going against in top 16. He is your winner in the Wet and Wild round of Orlando. His first ever victory took him to the top in his fast orange Permatex 2JZ powered BMW Royal Purple Rain X. Here we go. Make some noise for Dylan the Dozer Hughes. Next up, you see some signature teal and blue. That's the Falcon Tire livery feel suspension on the corners, Kansai wheels, as we are seeing that vehicle that is the S15. Make some noise for Odi Bakchis. Super hyped to see our next driver up in the mix, coming to us from Norway. He pilots a 2JZ powered all new Toyota Supra. As we zero in on him and that Boost race fuel team, they are ready to throw down. Coming to us from Norway, it is Simon Olson. Gunning for you. Next, the loud and proud LS turbocharged BMW. He's the pride of Paducah. Throw some dirt on it. Let's get out there. Let's get dirty. That AZ Rags BMW on Federal Tires. It is the one, the only Jonathan Hurst. That previous driver going against the driver that's posed right next to him. Coming to us from Japan in the Buy Now Japan S15. He is our last competitor to enter in the top 16. Make some noise for Wataru Masuyama. We have a trio of Toyotas ready for some controlled chaos. They were 2 and 3 in the points coming to this round. Talking about Ryan Turkey's knockdown earlier, but right now, currently second in points. And your defending champion, controlled chaos driver, that is the Rockstar Energy Drink Toyota GR Super on Nitto tires. Papa Docs Racing, it is Frederick, the Norwegian Hammer Aasbo. Moving on down the line, it's happy, and it's great to see a variety and celebrating all the different nationalities here coming to us from the Dominican Republic. The red, white, and blue, Jordo Metal Dom Mobile 1 Toyota GR86. It is Jonathan Castro.
Yep.
Rounding out the Toyota trio on track, a brand new vehicle debuted in Atlanta. Here he is in top 16 in that Modi's Toyota Gazoo Racing Nexon Tire Toyota GR86. Since day one, the OG. Say hello to Kenshiro, the OG Gucci.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And last but definitely not least, he's had 3 podiums this year. He has 3 championships underneath his belt. He pilots the all-new NOS Energy Drink Nissan Z. He's on GT radial tires. He's ready to shred it out here on, for the first time, this track. Make some noise for Chris the Force Forsberg. There are your top 16 drivers. Thank you so much to Utah Motorsports Campus and the whole staff here for getting the track prepped, ready to rip. And of course, all the staff here. Are you ready to send it? Utah Motorsports Campus and worldwide. The United States Air Force opening ceremonies. I'm gonna have an interview here with Sergeant Joseph Kern in a moment, talking to him how you could get involved if you're looking for an option of joining the United States Air Force. And again, special thanks to UMC. Thank you to Celinda, William, Terry, and Dixon. Again, thank you to Utah Motorsports Campus, Celinda, William, Terry, and Dixon for having us out here. You can see the grassy knoll, a beautiful backdrop. We've seen all the seasons from hail this morning, rain, snow. I mean, we've seen it all. It's been windy, it's been calm, but it's about to get rowdy out here for round 7. The Type S Elevated, presented by AutoZone. I'm Jared Deanna. Thank you, guys and gals, so much for joining us out here at round 7. We have one more round. Join us the second weekend of October at Irwindale, California, the House of Drift. You can see the fans streaming in and our VIPs leaving the track. We'll get the engine started, and our first battle, we'll see Osbo versus Taguchi. Listen to the growl, listen to the purr as our drivers make their way back to the hot pit area. Our 16 vehicles here getting ready to go. And there we see Jonathan Hurst, Wataru Masuyama, and there's our defending champion, Frederick Osbo, second in points. Just behind him, coming into this round of competition, was Ryan Turk. And there goes Chris the Force Forsberg, our 3-time champion. All right, up here in the booth representing the United States Air Force. And is it Master Sergeant?
It is Master Sergeant.
Master Sergeant. Put some respect on it. It said Sergeant right there, but I saw the M yesterday on your uniform. So Master Sergeant Kern, thanks for joining me, man.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, what do you think of drifting, first and foremost?
First and foremost, this is, full disclosure, my first time ever being here, right?
That's
to one of these
absolutely
races.
fun.
And it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's completely different than any other race I've been to, right? It's every other race you're trying to prevent tire spin, and this one they're trying to cause it. They're trying to control that chaos.
A little head scratching for you a little
Yeah.
bit. All right, well that's fair. Again, thank you for your service and thank you for what you do. United States Air Force, I obviously think it's the best country in the world. How long have you been in the Air Force, and why did you initially join?
Yeah, so I've been in the Air Force now for about 15 years,
Wow.
right?
Did you start when you were like 10?
Yes.
You look
10
mad
years old, they
young.
got me, right? No, I joined right out of high school. The reason I joined, I wanted to travel and see the world, right? I grew up in a small town in Nebraska, one of those pinpoints on the map that you wouldn't even know you passed it when you went through. So I wanted to get out and kind of see the world, and the Air Force provided me that opportunity.
Awesome. Did you see the world yet?
I did. I've been to all over the world, from Japan to Greece, Germany, everywhere in between, all over the States too.
Awesome. And that's a great segue to, because a lot of people think about, United States Air Force, and I always say this in interviews with people such as yourself. People think, oh, I just work on planes. Oh, I'm just going to work Air Force. There's so many different positions within the Air Force. You're now into now what's your position exactly?
Now I'm a recruiter out here. I actually cover the Tooele Valley, Stansbury Parks, Grantsville, and even into the Salt Lake Valley as well.
Okay. So have you placed, and how long have you been into basically recruitment?
I've been in recruiting just over a year now.
Okay. What's kind of the most, I like to ask this question, what's the most unique position that either you or someone has been in the Air Force kind of facilitating within? Anything unique at all? Or,
we have so many unique positions. We have like 160 some different careers.
Yeah.
Anything from, load masters loading the planes to dentists, medics, aircraft maintenance, which is what I grew up in the Air Force, and then just anything in between.
Awesome. And so if somebody wanted to enter into the Air Force or even the Space Force, because the Space Force is a division of the United States Air Force, correct?
Correct.
If they were looking to get involved in that, looking as an option, and with entering into and obviously recruiting, going into the Air Force like the depths where we had earlier, how would one go about that?
Really they just need to get online, find their local recruiter, give us a call, and then we will walk them through every step of the process, make it nice and easy, explain everything. I like to say we're not really recruiters. We're just here to give them information, right, so that they can make what decision's best for them.
Awesome. So have you picked your favorite car out here yet?
It's got to be that Air Force car, right? The Sorensen team.
There you go. Unfortunately, I don't think he's in the mix, but I like that. I appreciate that attitude, right? Aim high. But thank you so much. Now you could kick back and chill, but thank you for your support. And anything else you kind of want to add to this at all in regards to the Air Force?
No, that's about it for me. It's just awesome. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for having us out here. It's been a great partnership.
Thank you so much. All right.
Thank
you so much. Master Sergeant Kern. Again, go to UnitedStatesAirForce.com and AirForce.com. Thank you to their support. And again, not just the Air Force, but also Space Force as well. Many different options and scenarios for you, getting schooling, education, traveling the world, seeing all these things. And of course, it should be pretty cool. So thank you, Master Sergeant Kern, for all your information. As before we go into our first battle of top 16, let's get some, let's talk about some, basically some clipping point tips from the one and only Chris the Force Forsberg.
What's up, everybody? Chris Forsberg here, round 7, Formula Drift, Utah. Brand new track, brand new facility for us, and we are doing the BC Racing Clip Tip, as this is one of the more challenging tracks. It looks very simple. We got some high-speed corners. However, with it being such large, constant radius corners, it's very easy to make a mistake and have that bobble and lose your battle. So today I'd like to focus on the final clipping zone, which is outer zone 3. It's right on the edge of the dirt. Very easy to put your tire off, pick up some dirt, and get yourself a deduction from the judges. It's also slightly banked, so it has a lot more grip than it looks. So you have drivers that are coming in and being a little shallow on that zone and just leaving the door wide open for the chase car to come right up and push them into getting their win. So it's very challenging. You got to leave that exclamation point on the run and push through to get the win. Outer zone 3, I think, is the most difficult one of this course. And this has been your BC Racing Clip Tip.
The feeling of drifting a car sideways, it is the ultimate form of car control.
It's the calm before the storm, and it's about to go down. It's going to be a dogfight.
And clean start, here we go.
You take that breath and you kind of hold it for 1 split second. And then let's go, let's do this.
I think what the judges want is an all-out battle every single time.
Since I've been doing this for so long and I haven't won a championship, I've come close multiple times. You just got to do one event at a time, one day at a time, but do I want to? No.
Are you ready to send it?
That look on this face right there, that's game time. I'm going to try to take it all.
Look at that, Osbo. You can't count anybody out. Oh my goodness, holy banana cakes.
Oh my goodness, this will give you massive anxiety.
Jesus Christ, back up my blood flowing.
It's time to turn it up. We need to stay within striking distance of this championship.
I've won the championship twice now, 2015 and 2021. Going back to back will put me in a very elite club. I think we can do it.
Look at that. And there it is. We are looking at the cockpit of that gentleman, Frederick Osbo, the defending champion, and he will be the first battle. He's going against Kazuya Taguchi, who also has a victory this year. Kazuya Taguchi won most recently in St. Louis, or sorry, 2 rounds ago, excuse me, in St. Louis. We had Seattle most recently, but there are the points coming into this round. Notably, Matt Field as well as Frederick Osbo. Look at the point separation there. You can see 450 to 506, so 56 points coming into this round, so that is a considerable amount. And then Ryan Turk, who was in 3rd, and the name I'm talking about, Ryan Turk, is missing, but behind him you have Chris Forsberg, Chelsea Denofa. They are part of the conversation, and they are still in it. So, and again, notably Matt Field. So you see, 3 of the top 5 are on the left-hand side of that bracket. Matt Field, kind of the lone top 5 driver on the right. We have had 6 previous rounds. This is the round 7. You can see the variety of drivers: Turk, Osbo, Hughes, Reeder, Taguchi, and most recently Denofa in Seattle and Monroe, Washington. So we have Utah, and then going to Irwindale, October 14th and 15th for the final round of the FD Championship. As talking about over what we've seen, what do you think of this track so far, Lontaine? What we've seen from a prospect champion being crowned of Robert Thorne, and Blake Olson getting the win last night, and going 32 earlier. What do you think of the track? What do you think of the driving? What are your expectations?
Well, when it comes to what I think of the track, it's not as important as what the drivers, the teams think of the track, and I'm getting nothing but amazing feedback from everybody. There are a couple of little tweaks to the setup, but I think overall this track has been widely received as one of the best in the championship that we have. The flow, the size, the venue, everything is phenomenal. I love watching these drivers getting super close to one another, and this track gives them the confidence and the space to do that.
It just feels a different sort of calmness here as we look in. I believe that's Kazuya Taguchi, and that is. So Kazuya getting settled. You can see that GTR powered 86, but the audience and the flow and the vibe here, again, a lot of gratitudes from our fans here. These are the points at stake, so take this into mind, take this into consideration. 56 points separate 1 and 2. That is Field to Osbo. So you see everything that's going on. Where we go, so you see everything that's going on. Frederick Osbo, Kazuya Taguchi, our first battle. What are your expectations here, Ryan? Just going off of what we've seen from Kazuya and Osbo.
Well, they've both shown that they're pretty capable out there, so it's going to be a tight battle, I think. We've seen some great things from both drivers. They both won a round this season.
That's true.
So
but Osbo being #1 qualifier, Kazuya qualifying 16th.
Well, they both made it to top 16, so I'd have to say they're both very capable, right? I can't make a call until I see what they both put down on the track.
I would venture to say that Kazuya has a lot of momentum, not a lot to lose. Just basic. So as we are getting excited here, Kazuya, his momentum has been absolutely tremendous going into, you know, think about St. Louis. Ever since St. Louis, I feel like he has a different sense of confidence, and he's going against #2 in points, defending champion. I feel like he's like gonna throw caution to the wind. I'm super pumped. What do you guys think, Utah? Are you excited for us to be here? Top 16 is upon us. Ooh, you feel that energy here. All right, so Frederick Osbo, I don't know if you heard about it, Controlled Chaos. It's a series created by Rockstar. You can watch that as Kazuya Taguchi is going to chase him down. Frederick Osbo initiates big angle there. Kazuya Taguchi not as deep an angle, going around that first inside clipping point. Now with that first outside zone, let's see how they handle the second. Going to the second, a little bit of separation. See them going to that second inside clip. And Frederick Osbo is performing surgery right now. Call him Dr. Osbo into that last outside zone. Nice job by Frederick Osbo. Kazuya Taguchi not exactly as deep as we saw from Osbo, but a great job. You know, Kazuya had the proximity, but just wasn't as deep. So taking a look at what's going down. Ryan Lontaine alongside Brian Egger, Chris Yule, but Ryan giving us some insight here.
Yeah, what I want to look at here is Frederick Osbo going by inside clip 1. Looks like he lost angle there, but then poured it back on. Got onto the rumble strip, which is totally fine. In the chase, you've got Kazuya taking advantage of that, being right there with him. Tight on inside clip 1. Kazuya is just slightly off in the chase position, coming to outside zone number 3. Pretty smooth from Osbo. He's got that tire right on the line, pretty much. That outside line. Let's watch right here at initiation. Yeah, he definitely took some angle out of the car there. Bit of a correction, but I don't think that it did anything for Kazuya, but giving him the opportunity to get a little bit closer. So it didn't affect Taguchi in a negative way. It just kind of gave him the little edge there to get closer. Kazuya's not in the box in outside zone 3. He's close, but he's taking a slightly tighter line there to maintain that proximity.
And this is something, there's obviously Frederick Osbo's team, and this is what I was talking about earlier. You know, Osbo went against Robbins. Robbins, you know, admitted that he wasn't at 100% with his machine, but you can't win in 32, you can't win in 16. But quote me when I say this, Osbo is just going to slowly ramp up throughout the event, and you know he's got Taguchi on his side, and you know he's going to try to get through him. But Taguchi, like I said, he has nothing to lose. He really has everything to gain. Osbo has everything to lose right now if he goes against Taguchi. So he has to play it calculated. He has to get to a certain point to ensure keeping that distance, points distance, in between him and Matt Field, because Field's on that right-hand side. If he goes further, it's really just going to create this Grand Canyon of a points gap. Here we go, Taguchi out front, up garage, ISR Performance, GT Radio, GT86, into that first inside clip. You can see Osbo in the pocket, but back there quite a bit. Let's see how he handles this. Kazuya Taguchi in that second outside zone. A little bit of distance between them. Osbo dials it in. Really well done on that second inside clip. Now transition that last outside zone. Kazuya Taguchi, you can see him parking it right in the box. Osbo gets right next to him, bashed him on the side. A little bit of a love tap. Make some noise. Come on now.
Wow, that proximity in Mimic was pretty impressive, and he laid it on right from the beginning, Jared. Right at initiation, he was close. He was right next to Taguchi. He was kind of in the smoke a little bit before outside zone 1, but managed to get right back online. I'd like to see outside zone number 2 there. I kind of couldn't see it from my view. I want to see how deep he was behind Taguchi, but he definitely did a much better job in outside zone 3. So let's see on initiation here. Look how close Osbo is. That's taking some big chances right there. Getting nice and tight, getting to outside zone 1. I think he did maybe just slightly inside on outside zone 2. Great line mimicking through inside clip 2. And then going to outside zone 3. Look at Osbo right there next to him, mimicking his line, almost exactly smoke for smoke, the rear of those cars. So right there you see Osbo just a little bit inside. Osbo just leaves outside zone 2 a little bit early. He was in the box, he just left it earlier than Taguchi did, but he, like we always tell the drivers, if you're gonna make a compromise, make it quick, make it count, and get back online. And right there you can see Osbo right in the pocket. You couldn't ask for any better in outside zone 3 from the chase driver.
His team liking it, a little fist bump there. I know Sean there in the middle, he's not exactly elated about the contact there, but you know, you could see them.
One more panel for him to fix.
Exactly. You know, hey, you know, if it constitutes an advantage or a progression in the competition, it's justified, but don't write the car off. Here we go. Sliding left for Osbo, right for Kazuya Taguchi, and Frederick Osbo gets the win and retains that position there in second. Again, unofficially. Always hate to just put myself out there in regards to points and status and what's going on. High fives all around. Lorette Nickel down there. She is the member of our broadcast team. And she's going to get some insight.
Stole my pen.
All right. Let's take a look at the Permatex keys to victory in regards to the lead car, Ryan.
That lead car needs to have a quick and accurate initiation. That means getting the car to the angle that you want to carry through inside clip 1 to outside zone 1. And then you want to be tight on those clips. It's important for the flow of the course to be tight on those inside clips. You want to run a mid-line from inside clip 2 until the transition for zone 3. You don't want to cut all the way drivers right too early. It causes a big problem for the chase car, not what we're looking to see. That chase car needs to be close from start to finish. They need to match the lead car smoke trail. Basically what Aasbo just did through outside zone 3 and other portions of the track, that's what the chase driver needs to do. They need to mimic the line, they need to mimic the angle, the transition points, and stay close to that driver from start to finish.
Some great insight there. Thank you so much, Lontaine. Brought to us by Permatex. Next up, Mike Power and Daniel Stuke, two newcomers to the Formula Drift Pro Championship levels. They cut their teeth in the Pro Spec Championship and now have made a name for themselves here in Pro. And, notably, Mike Power went against Ryan Turk, and Ryan Turk went against the wall, taking himself out. Right now, Mike Power wants to prove himself. He initiates into that first inside clip, a little bit of distance, couple car lengths. How they can handle that first outside zone, excuse me, and that second out. Look at Stuke surging a towel. That tire said, I'm gonna head out, so loses a tire.
Wow.
Or excuse me, that was Stuke out front, Power in the rear. So Stuke loses a tire.
Well, you don't see that every day, Jared.
No, we've seen it like a whole wheel, but yeah, the tire debeat it and just
came right off the wheel.
Initiated and spun out. So Stuke running on that back right wheel. So unfortunate turn of events there for Daniel Stuke. So Stuke, Power in the chase position, loses the tire and spins out. And what's unfortunate about this is this considered a debeating? There was no contact. So I believe, right? I mean,
yeah, generally
there are rules and there are rule books, and we talk about, you know, maybe talk us through it right now.
Yeah, generally if your tire comes off due to contact with another car or with something like a wall potentially on track, then you can replace the tire. But this is simply a tire that decided to peace out. So
yeah,
that could be
that back right. There was no contact between Power and there was no wall, obviously.
Exactly. There was no contact with anything that could have caused that. So, you know, we have this rule in place to control drivers from putting 4 PSI in their tires.
Running low tire pressure
exactly.
in order to have that grip. And that was something where, you know, trying to find that razor's edge of what's too little, what's too much, finding the right grips, getting that side bite, and this was an epidemic. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah, for a while.
You know,
there.
for like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, we saw really extreme low tire pressures, and people debead.
Yeah.
It became an issue. We need the flow of the motorsport to happen,
exactly.
and it became a reoccurring theme. So the rule was instituted so people don't run super low tire pressure.
Yeah.
So you know, if that was the case with Stuke, we don't know.
Yeah.
Regardless, the tire is not on the wheel, so that would institute an incomplete and basically disqualification, especially here on the first run of this battle.
Yeah, it seems like that will be the case. I'm gonna have to talk to the competition director here and see if that's the case.
All right, so just want to clarify what's going on here, and we'll get Stuke off. Don't want to cause damage to either his car, since he is minus that tire, and also he's running just the wheel on the track. So Lontaine, saw you get up there, converse with your other judges. What's the update?
Well, I was actually talking to Pat, the competition director here, as this is outside of the judge's scope, we go off of the rule book essentially, and Pat informed me that we are correct and that his day is done.
All right, so he will be disqualified, and basically that's an incomplete, and they are not allowed to put a tire back on the vehicle in order to compete. So very unfortunate turn of circumstances for Daniel Stuke, which happy to see him out here in 16. Obviously, just a good attitude dude, and obviously a talented driver being here in 16. He went against Justin Pollock earlier, but just as quickly as it began, he got through a half of a run, and unfortunately, he will have to retire. Actually, can't retire. He has to.
Whoa, Jared, that was good.
No, it
Were you
wasn't.
holding
That was a
on to
dad
or?
joke. No, that was a really bad dad. And I hate to make light of Daniel Stuke, but that is an unfortunate turn of events.
It is.
So,
But one person's bad situation is another person's good situation.
Yep.
So Power
Mike
moves
Power.
on here.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. So Mike Power moves on, and he. Again, that's not the way you want to win it, but he's kind of been given a few gifts here. And again, you don't want to win that way. Ryan Turk goes into the wall. Stuke's tire goes off.
Yep.
And you can see Frederick Osbo's just daring good looks. Look at this gentleman. Can't even look at him. He's going to break a camera. He's so good looking. Throws on his Rockstar lid, and I believe Laurent Nickel's going to have some words with him. And
he was smirking there like he heard you almost.
Oh, yeah. Look at him. Look at him. Look at that guy.
Yeah, look how good I am.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my gosh. So we'll clear the track of Stuke. And this is how Aasbo threw it down against Kazuya Taguchi. Both these guys have a round win in the books. You can just see how clean that smoke line is. That's not a judge criteria, but that's just an indication of consistent throttle, good fluidity. It was just a billow of smoke. Look like cotton, you know, you put behind Hot Wheels to make it look like it's drifting. That's what it looked like. And this is how you want to chase. You can see Kazuya Taguchi does fill the box. Aasbo could have been a little deeper, but I think what was really dominant here in your eyes, if I'm correct, Ryan, is just watch this chase, and that's the exclamation point, right? Watch him massage it, gets back there, slides back. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, you know, there are little compromises here and there to get the car positioned, but like we always tell them in the briefing, make that quick compromise and get back online, and he did it expertly.
Well, let's hear it from the hammer's mouth. Aasbo is with Laurent Nickel.
Thanks, Jared. So Frederick is here, and he was talking to Steph Papadakis, looking at some data, and I asked you, have there been any changes that you've made? And you said, yeah, I'm making a few changes to my driving. What does that mean?
Yeah, so no changes to the car following top 32, but I made a change in my driving, how I chased these guys into the last corner, trying to get right up on their door. And this time it worked out. I did a much better job in the last corner than I did with Robinson 32. And Katsuya, he's the man. Like, he's come into his own this year, drove phenomenally here, has shown what he's good for later in the, earlier in the season. So that was one for the books. A lot of fun.
Yeah, and you were also talking about smoke. So there's a huge smoke blindness factor out here.
Yeah, it's really hard to see coming out of turn 1, crossing the smoke trail, and even worse out of turn 2, I should say. If you fall behind a little bit and fall into the smoke, you're gone. And we saw that with Ryan earlier, and you know, I had a little bit of that in practice. So just being able to stay out of the smoke, having the drive and the grip to really shoot in from that smoke is absolutely critical here.
Can you stay out of the smoke? Is that possible?
So far, so good, but we'll see from here on.
Frederick, thanks so much. Jared, Ryan.
Thank you so much there, as Aasbo giving an acknowledgement to Kazuya Taguchi. And we are already 2 drivers already into what we call the Link ECU Grade 8. And right now we are in the Royal Purple Top 16. Take a look at that United States Air Force replay. But Mike Power will need to complete his bye run in order to advance on. And let's see. So here goes Mike Power. We'll lay out and listen to the Power Drift S15. He advances on. Guess what? Next stop for him, he's going against the defending champion, Frederick Osbo. Let's lay out and listen to this high horsepower machine. And there you have it. Mike Power will advance on. So he rides off into the sunset, literally, in our Royal Purple Top 16. These guys have seen competition against each other quite a few times. Who's going to turn it up? Well, Chris Forsberg, that GTR-powered, all-new Nissan Z, Odi Bakchis, Vortex Supercharged LS under the hood of that Falcon Tire signature livery. Feel suspension on the corners. Odi Bakchis warming up his tires. What's cracking? Got all the gear in the paraphernalia. Filming some jams here. And we can see Chris Forsberg already on the line. Here comes Odi Bakchis. And Chris Forsberg qualified 4th. Odi Bakchis qualifying 13th. Who is advancing on? Who is going into the Grade 8? We are about to find out. Run 1 of this Royal Purple Top 16 battle. Make sure they're prepped and ready to run. All right, looks like we're ready to go. Here we go. Forsberg out front. Odi in the chase position. We got a clean start here. The all-new NOS Energy Drink Nissan Z initiating. Big, nasty initiation. Odi Bakchis right there.
Whoa.
Push him. Looks like maybe contact there. We'll get the eye in the sky view from our U.S. Air Force replay. Odi Bakchis slides to the side of Chris Forsberg, keeping the angle and pushing around. Now transitioning into that final outside zone. Odi Bakchis absolutely tuned up, dialing into that last outside zone. Oh, doctor, look at these guys. Wow, what an absolute bonkers run from Forsberg and Odi.
What did Odi have for lunch?
Yeah, holy cow. This elevation, man, it's got, look at that. Was there contact you've made or just get that close?
No, I think that was a little bump there on initiation.
All right,
so
let's take a look. Wow.
That was fantastic. Clearly, Odi knows he needs to throw down something amazing here to challenge Forsberg, and I'm sure it's going to go the other way. But look at this bump right here.
Yeah. Doink.
Pushes him away from
Forsberg
inside
stayed
left
in
one. Odi right there goes a little deeper on outside zone at number 1. Dives inside again, another bump
hit.
there, and inside clip 1. And you can see Forsberg is trying to stay on the track here, but Forsberg gets right into outside zone 3. That tire's on the line all the way around. That was pretty fun.
Wow. There was a kid that texted me or DM'd me earlier and was like, dude, you need to say "oh doctor." I said, an "oh doctor" is only warranted when you call the doctor. And right now, just getting the bashing on. Forsberg stayed in it. Like you said, what did Odi have over the break? Odi went against, he's had a bye. So this is first head-to-head here in Utah. So
we'll have to get a determination of fault here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure somebody's going to want to look at their car. And so excuse me for one moment.
Yeah, please go ahead, exit and converse with the judges. So what needs to happen here is basically deem fault, and I think we know what's going on here. Nothing looked like it was slowing or anything like that. So they're going to get hands on the car regardless. And if they got to call a competition timeout, one or both of the drivers, they will do that. Just with not one but 2 of the bashings there. Chris is just kind of signaling like, what's going on here? So that all-new Nissan Z taking a couple hits there. All right, so yeah, the sheriff's in town. That's Kevin, competition director here. And he is taking a look, seeing what's going on, and figuring out who was at fault. All right, just conversing here. So that 10-minute clock there is being applied to Chris Forsberg. So that and with that 10 minutes, that is an allotment because he is not at fault. Now, I have to assume with that being said that Odi Bakchis is at fault and he would have to utilize his NGK competition timeout. Forsberg is allotted 10 minutes because he was not at fault. So that is the maximum without utilizing that competition timeout, because you only are allotted 1 competition timeout through the entirety of the weekend. And that's not just game day, that's qualifying and game day into head-to-head battles. So Forsberg allotted 10 minutes, and Ryan Lontaine, after conversing with the judges, I assume that Odie is at fault. If he wants to utilize his timeout, he would have to use the one and done NGK competition timeout. Forsberg not at fault. He gets a 10-minute allotment, not utilize the competition timeout.
That is correct, Jared. That is exactly what we're looking at. And upon reviewing the footage, again, we have this different system here that just takes all the footage that the fans and spotters see, and we can just basically fast forward and rewind it.
Look at that rim, the rim of the wheel, that rotiform chunk, chunk, chunk.
Yeah.
That's not a bead lock.
That is gnarly, isn't it?
That is an absolute, I mean,
Is that thing still holding air?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That is pretty sick.
It's
So
a good ad for rotiform right there.
Right.
Yeah, so looking at the replay, we saw Odie tapping Forsberg at initiation. Forsberg got bumped off of inside clip 1. Forsberg stays on the track at outside zone 1, but Odie goes off, looks like 2 tires off in outside zone 1 that we can definitively say. There's a lot of smoke. It's hard to tell if the third one was off, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. 2 wheels off. Unfortunately, after inside clip 2, when Odie goes off the track, it's 3 wheels off there in the chase position. So it'll be an incomplete for Odie Bakchis on his chase run.
Yep, so again, Odie is utilizing his competition timeout. He has hands on the car, one and done as far as the NGK competition timeout. And like you said, he might be at a deficit with 2 wheels off, but right now, we'll get back to that. We move on. Chelsea Denofa, Taylor Hull will revisit the second half of that battle of Forsberg and Odie. And man, that was really exciting to watch, all things considered, and just, you know, getting those taps and continuing on. And Jeff Jones had some amazing shirts yesterday. Legends never flop. And Chris staying in it, you know, even Odie kind of bashing doors. We like to see it. You know, there's kind of incidental contact of being aggressive, then there's slamming.
Yeah.
And that was just trying to be a hard driver. So speaking of hard driving, both these gentlemen are about to throw down. Chelsea Denofa, Taylor Hull. Chelsea Denofa will lead. He qualified 5th. Taylor Hull qualified 21st. So look at that. Look at that deep set there by Taylor Hull as you're going to try to pace a very, very fast, tuned-up Pennzoil Mustang RTR Spec 5D. Chelsea Denofa. He's on Nitto tires, looks like. We are going to get a restart here. Re-rack him and Taylor Hull. So there is Odie and his team working on the car. Let's see where he lands as far as capability of the vehicle, where he's at, what his mindset's at. And again, he has the second half of this run. And just because there was contact and he was deemed at fault for that, that does not mean it's an incomplete. The only thing, as you said, would constitute is, you know, 3 tires off as opposed to just 2. That would be a deficit or going offline. But
yeah, he did. What we were saying is he did go offline, off track. 3 tires off.
Oh, he did go 3.
Yes, 3 tires before outside zone 3.
So a lot of things going on right now.
A lot going on.
Yeah,
I know.
So that would denote, not because of the contact, but because of 3 wheels off.
3 tires off.
That would constitute an incomplete.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we'll get to you in a moment, Lorette Nickel, as she's got an update on what's going on. I appreciate all the insight that Lorette Nickel is giving down there. But we're going to the restart of Chelsea Denofa and Taylor Hull. And here we go. Chelsea Denofa out front. Taylor Hull, Comcast, Edelbrock, Liquimale, Wild Willie's, Corvette. An All-American battle. Chelsea Denofa in that first outside zone. Going to that second outside zone. You can see Taylor Hull taking a bit of a shallower line. Nice job by Chelsea. Ooh, just I say that, takes out that inside clip. Taylor Hull trying to keep it. Oh, look at Chelsea Denofa. Way too deep into the gravel.
Wow.
Chelsea overcooking it, and he talked about, you know, how good his run was in 32. He says that's exactly what I want to do, but this time just absolutely smoked it out.
Yeah, looking at what happened at initiation here, you can see Hull is a little bit behind. Chelsea's off of inside clip 1 ever so slightly. You can see that Hull is trying to make up ground. He's running a little shallower angle, a little tighter line, but then Chelsea hits inside clip 1. He basically runs over the base with that front right wheel, and here he goes 2 tires off in the dirt all the way around outside zone number 3. So that is going to be a bit of a detriment for him in the lead role.
All right, well, they make their way back to the start line. Let's get an update from Lorette Nickel. Lorette, what's up?
Hey, Jared, so the clock is running for Odie. We have 45 seconds left of the 5-minute competition timeout, and what Odie and his team are doing right now, they're adjusting the front toe, and they swapped the rears because there was contact between him and Chris Forsberg. Forsberg switched out his back rear wheel and tire because, as you saw on the live stream, that was not running the next battle. So Odie is running away right now, rolling away. We have 20 seconds left, so he's good. He's heading to the start line, and Chris is still in his pit. We'll go down there for another update on Forsberg, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Great update there from Lorette Nickel. Let's throw them around, and Taylor Hull makes his way to the start line. He will now lead with that Corvette out front, and Chelsea Denofa giving chase. So let's see where they happen to go here, because Chelsea way aggressive on that last outside zone, and even like you said on that inside clip, Ryan, running over that base. It's got to disrupt the car.
Yeah, and now Taylor Hull has some opportunities here. He can be tight on inside clip 2 without hitting it, and he can run outside zone 2 right on the pavement edge all the way around there, and that'll give an advantage. As long as he runs outside zone 1 and 2 deep like Chelsea did, he'll better what Chelsea did in his lead run.
But to be kind of devil's advocate here, or to add to the conversation, if Chelsea is aggressive with his chase and is a little more dominant, because Taylor Hull was not part of the equation.
Yep.
He was multiple cars back. So we always talk, you know, this course is really interesting because it's just really transparently obvious. There's those kind of minuscule decel zones where you're not wanting to be on the brakes, but there's a decel opportunity that could happen there, but it's not necessary. Here we go. Taylor Hull initiates. Chelsea Denofa, I have a feeling he's going to really try to be on the side of Taylor Hull, now coming to that first outside zone, into the second. There he goes. Drops into formation. We talk about the pocket. He is all up in those Carter Short pockets. Now coming down into that last outside zone, and Chelsea Denofa gets into formation. Not as deep as Taylor Hull, compromising that proximity. Getting the proximity, but not for that depth. We talk about that pocket. He was closer. Was it clean? Was it tight? There's a lot to really analyze and break down. 4 very different runs. Lead versus lead, chase versus chase, and then in combining proximity, getting those outside zones, and hitting those clips.
Yeah, so here we are running up to initiation. Great initiation by both drivers. Taylor's tight on inside clip 1, so's Chelsea. Taylor runs right on the line at outside zone 2 and 3. Chelsea's right in the pocket there with him. Nice line through inside clip 2 from Taylor as they transition for 3. That's where Chelsea's going to dive in. He's going to take his opportunity to get close to Taylor. So it looks like Taylor did run a better lead run, just cleaner in terms of car positioning. Zone 1, 2, inside clip 2, and then outside zone 3. Didn't go off course in 3. Was just about 1.5 foot inside of the outside edge of outside zone number 3. So that's a pretty favorable position to be in from the lead. Now the question is, was Chelsea's chase better than Taylor's?
All right, so as we are going to take a look at the BC Racing Go for Gold side by side, you can see the Forsberg team thrashing. They got 1.5 minutes left. Now keep in mind, that's the 10-minute allotment. That is the grace period. If they do feel like they need another 5 minutes, they do have that NGK competition timeout. So checking the alignment, seeing, make sure everything's up to snuff. My recommendation, try to thrash, get through it, get enough, because there is Odie Bakchis sitting on that incomplete, so little favorable position there. Slide him left for Denofa, right for Taylor Hull, and there it is, one more time. Ryan, this is unanimous,
yep.
and your justification, obviously Chris and Brian sided with you, see if you're kind of in line as they over here.
Yeah, I know, I think they'll agree with this. Chelsea won the chase by a long shot. The aggressive nature, the closeness, the proximity, the mimic was phenomenal.
Wasn't as deep though.
Just in one little area right there, but everywhere else he was in the pocket. He looked awesome. Taylor's chase was poor. He was not close. He was offline. He did not do a good job. Now, you could say, well, it's because Chelsea hit the inside clip. Taylor's chase was not good before that,
right.
And it didn't get better even with, it didn't get worse after that. It kind of stayed the same.
Let's talk leads.
Leads. Taylor Hull's lead was clean. He did an awesome job there, did a great line throughout the course. So he wins lead to lead. And that's how you come with a one more time. Nobody dominated the lead and the chase. One was dominant in the lead, one was dominant in the chase. That leads to a one more time. So an eyeball on each screen, try to dissect this. Look at the proximity difference right there. That's the easiest thing to see right off the bat. Of course, you can start to dissect the little errors that Chelsea made in the lead. That's why he lost the lead. You can see how Taylor in the lead was doing a good job. He was placing his car where it needed to be. Now, we need somebody to do what Taylor did in the lead and what Chelsea did in the chase, and then you've got a winner. So that's what we're looking at from that one more time.
All right, well, thank you so much for all that insight, taking a look at those side-by-sides. Love breaking it down. The sun is out, baking this track as we look at two great friends, both BMWs, two different engine builds. You can see the numbers there, fairly close in age, fairly close in locations of the original town. But I'll tell you what, two BMWs, but you got two JZ under the hood of Dylan Hughes, Travis Reeder, he's got an LS under the hood of his vehicle. But keep in mind, both these guys have victories. How rad is that? Travis Reeder wins in New Jersey just before that. Dylan Hughes wins in Orlando, the Wet and Wild. So Dylan, the Dozer Hughes, Permatex, Fast Orange, Falcon Tires, BMW initiates into that first inside clip. Travis Reeder, this should be a really good one. Let's make some noise for these two guys. Coming to that second outside zone. Travis Reeder gets to the door of Dylan Hughes, pushing around the Dozer himself. Travis Reeder goes, he tries, it looks like he got lost in the smoke. Dylan Hughes continues on through the course. You could feel the anger there, and that looked like it could have been, one, a lot worse, two, a very similar scenario to that of Ryan Turk. You saw him come out, he had that contact with Dylan Hughes. The Dozer says, all right, well, I'll show you, Dozer. I'm going to get inside of you. Let's take a look at it again.
This is an interesting tactic from Reeder in the chase position here. Watch this line from outside zone 1 to outside zone 2. He hangs on to one longer, transitions later, and then he dives right in there and he makes contact with Hughes, which pushes him off inside clip 1. And then as he comes through the smoke here, transitions too early, comes back, and then loses control at that point in time. So he did something that allowed him to get more proximity. I don't know if that hurt him because he ended up in a really, really tight. I think he made contact with Hughes right here. Yeah, right there was a little bit of rub. And then you can see his angle suffers a little bit because of it. Puts him on a bit of a tighter line. Goes to transition in the car. It looks like it's sort of gripped up right there. And then he ended up snapping the car the other way and spinning out off the track. So that'll be an incomplete for Travis Reeder for that spin, loss of drift.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, that seemed not identical to Ryan Turk's scenario, but Ryan Turk got lost in the smoke. I had some words with him briefly, and he said he just got lost in the smoke, and it's really interesting because he thought he was way more left than he was, and I think the scenario here with Reeder is, like you said, that contact threw him off of what he's been kind of practicing earlier. And practice laps, you know, they're kind of limited. It's a new track. You know, you got 32 drivers early on, so you got to get very familiar with the track in a very expedited fashion, and Travis Reeder got thrown off there quite a bit.
Yeah, you know, on that transition, he could have come out of the smoke as he transitioned and realized, I'm too early, I'm going to end way inside. It looked like his trajectory may have taken him like off the track inside, potentially, and that's why he brought the car back. Or it was a grip up issue, like could be multiple things, but led to unfortunately for him, an incomplete.
And what's going to happen here and what's going to be kind of interesting is how does Dylan Hughes, you know, handle this, being in the chase position at an advantage. You know, just knowing these guys, you want to win in an honorable fashion. I don't think he's going to have, you know, the most aggressive run, but if I'm him, pedal back, put on a good show, but take into consideration you do have that advantage. But Reeder, he has nothing to lose. He's going to let it all hang out. Travis Reeder comes into that second inside clip. Dylan Hughes just barely nicks it. Now coming to that last outside zone. Here goes Reeder. Reeder gets into that last outside zone. And like I said, I think that's a fair, honest approach. You know, you kind of want to advance. And, you know, Dylan looked like he was going to get aggressive from the start, but Reeder, he has to throw it all out there.
Yeah, I was a little concerned with Dylan here at initiation. He got a little aggressive, maybe had a little bump right there, and it almost straightened him up as he was going by inside clip 1, and it definitely hurt his proximity. He fell off there. You can see Reeder, big angle at outside zone 2, gets back on throttle. Hughes just taps ever so slightly that inside clip number 2 marker, and then Reeder stays out of the box all the way around outside zone number 3. But that was close with Hughes in the lead position, in the chase position at inside clip 1. It's almost like he pushed a little too hard there. You know, you have to be a little bit more strategic when the other driver has an incomplete. We don't want to see it. What's that called?
A double incomplete?
No, the thing where you're not chasing close enough.
Inactive chase.
Inactive chase.
It's all good. Hey,
the
man,
word inactive wouldn't come to me.
I get it, man. I've been doing this a long time, and it definitely you space out, but I appreciate it. Dylan Hughes gets the win. The Dozer advances on past Travis Reeder. So some bragging rights between the P&W boys. Again, both winners. Oh, you got a tire, brother? You're wearing a tire. What's going on, fellas? You guys having fun down there?
Oh, jeez.
Why you tripping? We'll see you next fall. And we are seeing that of Dylan Hughes head back to the hot pits area. So, again, bragging rights between those two gentlemen. They both have a win under their belt. As Dylan Hughes walks past the other drivers, saw Gucci and Field, of course, saw Forsberg and Odie. We have the one more time between Denofa and Hull. So we have 3 drivers already in the Great Eights, Osbo and Mike Power. And we will see the second half. You know, we've already seen Forsberg and Odie go at it. We saw Forsberg lead, Odie had that incomplete. They got into it, fixed the car. I saw the kind of nuts going around the Forsberg pit there saying, hey, good job, good job. They got it dialed. They're back up to that Pedal Commander burnout box. Again, shout out to Pedal Commander supporting that gentleman's Pro Spec driver, Evan Bogovic. Evan Bogovic finishing out last night. Great driver, getting that top 5 finish. Congrats to him as we are seeing Odie Bakchis up on the start line. Like insane entry by, you know, Odie Bakchis in that chase position. And he just did not back down with that contact, stayed consistent with it. And like I said, it didn't seem malicious. It just seemed like, hey, I'm going against this very fast Z. I have to give it to him, man. So, you know, Chris Forsberg, a 3-time champion, and here are our past champions over the years. Again, most recently, Frederick Osbo, defending champion. Von Gittin Jr., again, we debuted that all-new 2024 Mustang. You can watch the video, but he said it. I said, hey, Von, I feel like with this new Mustang, you might have something cooking in the RTR kitchen. He says, we got something cooking, so stay tuned. So speaking of champions here, as now we are seeing alternating positions, Odie Bakchis out front, Falcon tires, field suspension, Vortex supercharged, LS, S15, Chris Forsberg, that GTR powered, all new Nissan Z, NOS energy drink, BC Racing on the corners, and those rotoform wheels taking a licking, keep it on ticking. Saw that thing look like a Ginsu knife all chopped up. Here we go, Odie Bakchis out front, Chris Forsberg in that chase position. Let's see how they initiate. Odie Bakchis initiates into that first inside clip. Here comes Forsberg. Odie Bakchis, want to see that top view to see if he got into that all of that first outside zone. Great angle from Odie Bakchis. Look at that. Absolutely dialed on that second. And now in that final outside zone, Odie Bakchis sets it and forgets it. Man. I see you plugging your ear there, Ryan. That uncorked Vortex LS was screaming past us here in the judges stand. I think Forsberg had a very similar approach that Dylan Hughes had going against Reeder. They had an incomplete. You know you're at an advantage. You don't need to do anything massive to win here in 16. You just need to keep it proper, keep it clean.
Yeah, in that situation, Odie knows he's got to lay down a killer lead and hope for a mistake from Forsberg. But Forsberg's not going to put himself in a situation where he could make that mistake. So he kept a bit of distance, and it was a smart move. He still mimicked everything going around the track. He wasn't so far back that it was an inactive chase. Hey, I remembered what it's called that time. And he did a good job of just playing it safe. So let's watch the replay here as they pull up to initiation. A little bit of distance being created there, but Forsberg closes it in here by inside clip 1 slightly. Forsberg just off of outside zone 1, leaves outside zone 2 early, and then falls back a little bit here at inside clip 2. As they transition for outside zone 3, Forsberg gets in the box, initially leaves the box while Odie stays in the box. But I think it's pretty clear who's going to move on here based on run 1.
Slide him left for Forsberg, and that's what they do. Unfortunately, Odie Bakchis knocked out, but Chris the Force Forsberg advances on into the Great Eight. So we're still in the Royal Purple Top 16. Royal Purple, the synthetic experts, official engine oil of Formula Drift. And now we are seeing Ken Gucci and Matt Field, our points leader. And there are the points coming in this round. You can see, again, 56 points separate Aasbo and Field. We know that Aasbo is still in it. Can Ken Gucci spoil the gap that Matt Field has above him? So Ken Gucci, the OG, Matt Field, the beast from the Bay, been banging away for years. He's got a couple round wins under his belt, but not one this year. He's leading the championship minus a win. But I'll tell you that Chris Forsberg, who we just saw, get that victory, he's won a championship without winning a round within the championship. So that's just to tell you, consistency is key. And so is having a good time, kids. How we doing? Dude, play with the tire. Get after it, man. Go inside that thing and roll down. If your parents are cool with it, go for it. Send it, kids. And as we are seeing Gucci and Field, it's my tire. I'm taking my tire. I'm going home. All right, so Forsberg advances on. He'll go against either Denofa or Hull, but we'll advance on to Gucci and Field. The winner of this battle will go against Dylan Hughes. So let's see how this unfolds. Again, Ken Gucci qualifying 7th, Matt Field qualifying 23rd. Therefore, the Motties Toyota GR86 will lead. Let's see how they handle this first initiation. You can see Ken Gucci going to that first inside clip. Matt Field in the chase position, that Falcon Tires Drift Cave Corvette. He surges in attack. Is it too much? He has to back out. Little wobbler there around that second inside clip. Now to that final outside zone. How are they going to handle it? I think a good job there by Ken Gucci. I think Matt Field caught a little bit on his heels there. Not exactly the most precise run from Matt Field. You saw kind of surging, kind of having to back off.
Well, I think it all fell off right here, Jared. Look, a little bump right there. It's got to throw you off a little bit. Now, the lead driver has the right of way at initiation, and Field was next to Ken Gucci, and it looked like there was a little tap there as Gucci kind of moved over to get himself ready for an initiation. I don't think it affected Gucci. It looked like he put together a really great run. He hit most of his marks through the course here. He did a great job in outside zone 3. Like that tire on the outside zone. Field, on the other hand, so watch. Field ends up having a bobble right there. As they transition here, there's another little one there. Over angles a little bit, and then gets back on it, but as they go towards outside zone 3, he takes a slightly inside line here, and his proximity is not great. And then the inside line was pretty significant through outside zone 3. It started off little, but it got pretty big. So again, lead driver has the right of way at initiation. If the chase driver gets in their way and impedes them, it's totally on the chase car. In this case, it looks like Ken was not bothered by it, or if he was, he didn't show it. He hit it pretty well.
Yeah, or, and that's a favorable position. You want to see kind of the entirety of the run, and we've seen it where, bam, it just quickly
ends right there.
Quickly puts a battle to halt, and that would end that run, and a driver would have an advantage. And that's similar to Odie getting in the side of Forsberg, but continuing on through the course. So
that's a big risk to take as a chase driver, to put yourself in that position, because we know, and we've told them a million times, the chase driver is at fault for anything that happens there.
Right. Okay, so let's alternate the order here. Thank you to Type S. This is Type S Elevated, presented by AutoZone. Type S, the official lighting of Formula Drift. So Matt Field will lead, Ken Gucci giving chase. All right, re-rack them and stack them and track them. Let's see what we see from our current points leader. Again, this is a big battle here. Osbo's already in it. With Matt Field being our points leader, this is a must win in order to maintain that lead. Nearly 3-digit speeds, 99.8 miles per hour in that first outside zone, into the second outside zone. Now approaching that second inside clip. Looks like Ken Gucci taking him out in that chase position, and now getting into that last outside zone. Matt Field, oh, look at Ken Gucci massaging it in there. About halfway through, the number 21, Ken Gucci, again, handling those outside zones and then into the inside clip. Swinging it around here. What do we got? What's your assessment, Ryan, and the judges? A big battle at stake.
Yeah, so Gucci, you can see, kind of taking that chance too, but stays out of Field's way. Field initiates really wide on the rumble strip there. Gucci's right with him through zone 1, but Gucci transitions too early, and as Field goes into outside zone 2, Gucci misses it entirely, and then Gucci's on a tight line and he hits inside clip number 2. As they transition for 3, Gucci's inside a little bit, but manages to get out a little bit further. His proximity is not fantastic, but he is there. And his line is a little bit better than Fields was in the chase, because Field was quite a bit inside on his chase run. So watching this again there, that's Gucci's big error. going really tight on outside zone 2 and then hitting inside clip 2. Here he's inside, but manages to massage the car back a little bit, like you said, Jared. Still inside on outside zone number 3, but a little bit more proximity perhaps right there.
Let's take a look at the side-by-side BC Racing Go for Gold instant replay.
All right, so as we look at the replay, on the left, you see that little tap. It looks like Field kind of impeding Gucci a little bit, but Gucci does a good job of staying on it. They get through zone 1, transition to zone 2. You can see Field's line is a lot better in the chase than Gucci's was through zone 2. Gucci then hits inside clip 2. Field positions his car really well through there. As they go to outside zone number 3, it looks like Field is just slightly further inside than Gucci was in his chase. Their leads look pretty similar through that outside zone 3 area.
Contemplating the results here. Again, big impact here regarding Field and Gucci. And Gucci not in the hunt of the championship, but our current points leader. Like I said, Gucci would love to play spoiler here in the scenario, just at the sake of advancing on. 100 points at stake again. 56 separate Matt Field, our leader, to Osbo. Behind him was Turk, but with him being knocked out early, let's go to the judges. Slide him left for Gucci, right for Field, and that's a one more time. That is, and look at that. So again, by majority, the one more time happens. So one more time.
Too many mistakes from both drivers. No clear domination from either driver in both. There were some errors made. Field impeded Gucci, which I don't like. He's not supposed to do that. Get in his way on initiation. But Gucci on his chase, offline a little bit, tapping inside clip, and then going outside zone 3. Field further in than Gucci was in his chase. So there were errors made by both drivers and things that I didn't like from both drivers. So I'd like to see them go again and hopefully have a clean run with an obvious winner.
Yeah, and we saw that, earlier with Field and Rome. You just don't leave it in your hands. Get a more definitive run. As we advance on to we're actually digressing back to the Chelsea Denofa Taylor Hull battle. This is one more time. Chelsea Denofa, that Pennzoil Mustang RTR on Ditto tires, goes past that first inside clip, fills that first outside zone, second outside zone. Taylor Hull, he is mimicking the angle, but he's a few cars behind, just barely nicks that second inside clip. Now let's see how they handle this last outside zone. Denofa gets out there. You see Taylor working for it. Seems like every other run, Denofa's like, okay, that was the run. Right. Okay, that wasn't. That was the run. He just needs to be consistent. And Taylor was really working for it. He did mimic the angle, but you just saw him keeping the same distance through the entirety of the course. So he's right there in the mix, but Chelsea he took it over the top.
Yeah, good initiation from both drivers here. You see a little bit of reduction in angle from Hull as he gets near inside clip 1. And right here as they transition, you see Hull low angle and then pours it on as he gets near outside zone 2, but not fully in it. Right there, nice line from Chelsea, going by inside clip 2, and as they transition for outside zone 3, much better job this time from Chelsea, filling outside zone 3 without surpassing it and going into the dirt. So let's watch here from above as they transition for zone 2. Again, that's where Taylor had that little mistake on his angle, but pours the angle back on, comes through the smoke. Low angle there, also a poor line from Hull as he's trying to gain some proximity. He does sacrifice on line, so he's not mimicking what Chelsea's doing in the lead position, so that's going to be something that Chelsea's going to have to improve on as he goes to the chase position to win the chase-to-chase comparison. As for the leads, Chelsea did a pretty good job in the lead, so it's going to be really hard for Hull to better that. He can try to match what Chelsea did. He can try to better it. Chelsea filled the zones, got to the clips. It's going to be really hard for Hull to better it, but he can definitely match it, which will give him an opportunity, and hope that Chelsea makes mistakes behind him.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor has it. He's right there. He just needs to find that secret sauce, and it might be in that beard oil, that Wild Willie's beard oil. The comp cams, Edelbrock, Yellow Speed Racing, again, full pull Taylor Hull. He needs that and a little secret sauce. Like I said, here we go. Taylor Hole, see if he can live up to that Intimidator spirit. The 97-mile-per-hour entry. Chelsea Denofa right there, sticking it to the door. An All-American battle, vet versus Stang. Chelsea Denofa attacks, goes for the, oh, doctor, we saw contact. Let's see the line and what went down here. You could see, obviously, the battle damage on that left-hand side. Might be a little bit of limp in there. Is that just stuck in the rut? Coming to this round of competition, you have that of Frederick Osbo sitting in second in points. Right behind him, his other Rockstar energy drink driver, Ryan Turk. So 2 and 3 in the championship. Them being led by Matt, the beast from the Bay Field. How are they going to do here in Utah? We will find out.
All right, so we're just watching the replay over and over here on our screen, trying to see what happened, what occurred. Did somebody dive in? Did somebody slow down? So let's watch the replay.
Yeah, please.
And listen to the replay. So coming in inside clip 1, good by both drivers. It looks like Chelsea dove in. It looks like he hung on to angle from outside zone 1 longer than anticipated, longer than you'd expect. You're supposed to mimic what the lead car is doing, so it just looks like Taylor leaves it and Chelsea stays in it longer and then ends up almost passing him, getting right in there. And Taylor looks like he's doing his thing. Is there a tire off that wheel?
On that back left of Taylor?
I'm going to go have a look over here.
All right. Ryan Lontaine and the judges scrutinizing. And, yeah, that back left definitely does look flat. But you were looking at the right. And that could have been, you know, after, post the hit. The contact was made. So, again, scrutinizing here. And what the judges are really analyzing of what's going on. So, you know, well, you can see it right there, absolutely deflated. So let's take a look here on transition. And you're talking about that back left corner, correct?
Yeah, back left corner. Looks like Taylor's tire is not fully on the wheel. So we'll have to get the view from the other side where we can see the left rear wheel. Maybe you'll see it here after he brings it around.
But yeah, it's totally
so there you go.
debeated.
He's running on the wheel. Now, we can't pinpoint when it happened quite yet. We don't know exactly. But that definitely shows that maybe I was wrong on my initial assessment that Chelsea dove in, because in this situation, if Taylor doesn't have a left rear wheel, that's going to cause a big
He is
problem.
lacking angle. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Chelsea is not on the proper. He's starting to dive in, but that could be. Yeah, you could obviously see it's.
Yeah,
it's totally debeated there.
Yeah, there's no tire on that wheel, so that does bring up a big issue, Jared, in terms of traction, grip, speed, everything that that would occur there with the lack of tire. As you're weighting that side of the car, you're transitioning, and all the weight is kind of transferring to that side. There is a decel zone there, but I don't think that accounts for a lack of a tire on the wheel, unfortunately. So I think that's going to cause a big problem for Taylor Hull right now, unfortunately for him. And he was putting together a great battle right there. He was doing a great job, but sometimes the equipment lets you down.
Taking a look here, and again, we'll get him towed off. You can see that back left here, and you know, assessing all the angles, looking at everything that's going down. If you're, you know, at pace, it's one thing. Again, debeating a tire. We will see Chelsea Denofa, Taylor Hull. We'll get him towed off here, and again, already in. Again, we have Frederick Osbo. Frederick Osbo is already in. Mike Power is already in the grade 8s. Chris Forsberg, who's in that top 5 contention. Also on the right-hand side, you got Dylan the Dozer Hughes, who was a winner in Orlando earlier this year. Look on that right-hand side. Most importantly, Matt Field, Ken Gucci, forced to one more time. And again, Matt Field, our points leader. And then you can see Castro versus Olson, Hurst versus Masuyama. So we are seeing what's going down. We'll tow that comp cams, yellow speed racing. Like I said, that secret sauce, but you definitely need to keep the tires underneath the car. Grip it and rip it. So, hey, let's throw it down to Lorette Nickel, who's with the Happy Man. He moves on to grade 8.
There's so many great things that are happening for Mike Power. So for the first time ever, he's moving into the grade 8, and he is also leading the run for the Rookie of the Year. That chase is amazing. And out here on this Grantsville, Utah track, you're taking this battle by battle, step by step.
Yeah, so today and this weekend has been pretty tricky for us, you know, qualifying practice, just not really getting the best out of what we're putting down on track. So I'm just trying to learn every step of the way. Every time I go on the track, I'm learning something new. We got really lucky today with Turk and also Stuke, and that's not really how we want to get pushed into the grade 8 for the first time. But, you know, in this series, a little bit of luck goes a long way, so I'll take it. I feel like I've worked really hard this season, so heck yeah, I'll take a little bit of luck, and I'm just going to keep on pushing and see if I just keep going.
Yeah, and how's the car for you out here?
The car is always awesome. The team literally kills it every time. Any input I give them, they're right on it, fixing it up for me. So the car is never an issue. It's literally just my abilities on track.
Okay, so let's talk about those abilities on track. How comfortable are you with your driving? Do you feel like you're on point, or do you think you have to make adjustments?
Well, honestly, I always feel comfortable in the car, but I'm a little bit hard on myself on how I want to be doing well every time, and I make minor mistakes, and you know those can take you out in a weekend. So I take them very serious, and I try to just, you know, anytime I do something bad, just right away, just get rid of that, do it different the next time around. So, you know, I feel comfy in the car. I'm just trying to drive better every single lap.
Yeah, that's so good. And so when you, in your own mind, made a minor mistake, do you come back, discuss it with the team, and then find the solution, box it up, and let it go?
Yeah, it's usually like take a breath, talk it out, let the guys know on the team like what I'm feeling in the car, if there's any changes that need to be made, or if I'm just making a mistake. And, you know, usually it's just me. Like I said, the car is always perfect, so it's literally just me having to do the right job on the track. So that's what I'm going to try and do here today.
That's awesome. And Mike Power, don't forget, you're crushing it. You're here. You're moving into grade 8. Great job. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Lorette and Mike Power. Congratulations. You're going to Aasbo next, so you got to bring your A game, man. Like you said, a little bit of luck on your side, but you're going to need a lot of luck, maybe even a little Monica on your side, is Frederick Osbo is our defending champion. All right, just analyzing this over and over, that back left tire debeating. Did it happen, you know, action, reaction, or did it happen? So, like, basically, did the hit cause the debeat? Did the debeat happen, then the hit happened? I mean, a debeating of a tire impedes the performance of a vehicle, obviously. So is that where that happened? Perfect storm scenario. Chelsea, I don't think it was in that deep angle going into that second outside zone, but then Taylor Hull deep. I mean, I'm just painting all the scenarios here. I'm not giving finality to it. I'm talking to you, Lontaine, Chris Yule, Brian Eggert, the judges. Unenviable position, but there it is.
Yeah.
Chelsea Denofa gets the win. Chelsea Denofa does get the win. And going to you, you spoke with the other judges. How did you find that result?
Yeah, you know, there's no definitive thing that we can see that would have caused that tire to come off from the collision. If the car is already on the rumble strip before the collision occurs, it's not like the collision knocked the car onto the rumble strip, which knocked it off. It just seems like the tire was off and potentially caused him to slow while Chelsea was coming in quick, you know, to that area. And kind of a perfect storm, but with a tire off the wheel, it's one of those things that you can't argue with. The tire was off the wheel, and we know that causes a degradation in performance, and we're expecting cars to be operating at the highest level all the way through this course. And when a car doesn't operate at the highest level, then that's an indication that that driver, that fault or issue or mechanical problem, whatever it is to blame for anything that occurs.
All right, well, there's Chelsea Denofa, the winner of that battle, and again, just it's really unfortunate for Taylor Hull, you know, again, just to debeat like that, and the tire coming off and throwing on some fresh set of Nitto tires. They'll assess that damage. They have Forsberg to go against, and Denofa and Forsberg have gone against each other before, and here they are at it again. So we are more than halfway through this Royal Purple Top 16. So when we come back, we'll see some more battles, notably Gucci Field here at UMC, Utah Motorsports Campus. This is Type S Elevated, presented by AutoZone.
At O'Reilly Auto Parts, we know how important it is for your car to look sharp and run well. And we're here to make that as simple as possible. Get all the parts, accessories, and tools you'll need for your next project delivered right to your doorstep. Just place your order online and leave the rest to us. You'll have everything you need at your door with free shipping the very next day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. The first time you try Pedal Commander, you'll feel oh yeah.
Keep me on your mind, 'cause I'll be on the way. Yeah. You know I'll be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I'll be on the way. Yeah. I'm on the way. On the way. Yeah. On the way. I'm on the way. I'm on the way. Sleeping.
Made in Japan. Breed.
Your future in high-performance motorsports begins at the University of Northwestern Ohio.
There is no other school like UNOH to teach you the things, not only for Monster Jam, but for the hot rod community.
With 70% hands-on learning, no out-of-state tuition, and top-of-the-line instructors, you'll go from learning to earning with the industry leader in motorsports education.
I love waking up to come to school.
This facility here has all the tools, instructors, and knowledge that you need to go out and be successful in the field.
Your journey to the fast lane begins at UNOH.
All right, welcome back here to Utah Motorsports Campus, playing host to round 7 in the dirt. Jason, cool. You're number 1, too. Thank you guys for joining us out here. Adam Knappich, Jason in the building. Thank you so much. Donut, you guys make t-shirts and make good drinks, so thank you. All right, so let's throw it down to Laurent Nickel with an update of what's going on.
Yeah, I know. So Chelsea Denofa just had contact with Taylor Hull, and you pulled in and you didn't know what had happened. Taylor Hull's tire was off the wheel, and from your perspective, what did you experience?
Yeah, we came out of 1, and he was a bit slower leaving 1, so I made a checkup behind him, and that kind of put me a little bit deeper than him leaving the zone, so I stayed longer. And then when he transitioned, I could just tell it was super loose. And I don't know if maybe he went too wide or whatever the case was at that point, because I was just trying to catch back up and get where I needed to be. And then all of a sudden, he just like kept slowing down. And there is a point where you got to light off or you're in trouble there. And he got past that point. I stayed on the brakes, but just we made contact because of it. Just we didn't light off at the right time, but it seems like he debeated a tire, which would explain that pretty well.
Yeah, and your crew right now working on back left rear. Any other damage?
Maybe a small alignment change we're going to have to make from the hit, but the cars are built to take it. So.
And how much do you love this track?
I enjoy it a lot. I like that it's a momentum track. It's really enjoyable. The speed's good, and obviously the faster you can go, the more angle you can have. So I've been just trying to push the envelope on the speed a little bit so I can have more style, more speed, and hopefully give myself an easier time picking up all those points.
Chelsea, thanks. Jared, Ryan?
All right, thank you so much for some great insight there from Chelsea Denofa from the driver's perspective. All right, we go back to the one more time. The OG, Ken Gushi, going against Matt Field. Again, Gushi will lead in his Madi's Toyota GR86. And now Matt Field will chase him down. So let's take a look here. Going back to this one more time. Huge repercussions here. Matt Field, our leader in that Falcon tires, Drift Cave, Borley exhaust, Corvettes. We saw him do one more time earlier against Rome Charpentier, so it's not coming easy for Matt Field. And Ken Gushi would love to play spoiler. Looked like they had contact on that first battle, but not the case here. 99.4 miles per hour. Into that first inside clip goes Ken Gushi in that first outside zone. No transitions into the second. Oh! Big contact here.
That was big, Jared.
That was real big.
Doesn't look like it affected Gushi, but
Gushi continues on. But that was a really big blow, and I think it's going to be more detrimental to Matt Field, not only to his ego and his stance, but also his vehicle. That front left corner, he Y-lined it, didn't really beeline it into the door. Let's roll that back. And you know what's interesting is that looks similar to like what Chelsea experienced too, that kind of that line where he kind of went into it, man, this thing, I'll tell you what, Matt Field has had one heck of a season. For all things considered, leading the pack. Remember round one. I mean, he banged up every corner of that car.
Yeah.
That thing was crab walking his way. Went and got married before round two, got the car back together. And so that car has taken quite a licking, but not for lack of effort.
Yeah, it looks like watching the replay here, I think Gushi was on throttle through there. Maybe Matt went through the smoke and popped through the smoke and Gushi was there. So looking at outside zone number one, Field's got low angle there. And then as Gushi goes into zone two, there's smoke coming off the tires. Let's watch it from this view and see momentum here if we can, pace in the vehicles. You can see
Matt doesn't have much
Fields,
angle.
Yeah, Fields at low angle, and the low angle was sort of starting back at outside zone one. And again, coming through that smoke, might not look too thick from above looking down, but when you're in the smoke trying to go, look at that, as you try to look forward, can't see anything. So potentially Field was in that smoke, trying to jump in on Gushi and transition there right in the pocket and just ended up right in the pants, not in the pocket. I don't know, that didn't make any sense. I'll try that again sometime.
Yeah. Leave the bad jokes to me.
It looks like there's a bit of damage on Field's car, the front left.
A bit?
Yeah,
I mean, that was previous damage.
Yeah,
and then
front
that
bumper.
front, and then that front
splitter.
left.
Yeah, all right, let's be quiet.
All right, so the car obviously way too loud. They're assessing what's going on here. That front left corner.
That wheel looks like it took some
you do
hits.
have to deduce fault. Have you considered, or have you done that already?
I think I do have that in my head. I think the other guys are still toying around with what their call is going to be.
Okay, and you can see that front left corner.
I think we're unanimous on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're unanimous on Field and fault there.
So Matt Field is at fault. You saw him kind of go into the door, and that'll be a major blow to Matt Field. That's an incomplete for Matt Field. You know, essentially with a hit that big, did Gushi have to continue on?
Well, Gushi wouldn't know what's going on behind him, so
good point.
He would continue on thinking, I need to put this run down.
Okay.
I am the lead driver. If the chase driver incompletes, I still need to continue on.
Right.
You know? And I think that's the safe thing to do if your car is able to do it. If your car is not damaged, you say, everything feels good. I'm just going to keep going.
Yep.
So he did that. I didn't even see Gushi straight and fully. You know, his angle definitely reduced after he got hit, but he got right back on throttle, kept going through the run, and he completed it. So from the Gushi perspective, he's totally good that way. Field, on the other hand, like you said, you know, and like we saw, he just came to a stop there. I don't know if it was due to the hit causing him to lose control and he just, you know, stopped, or if he felt like there was a mechanical, you know, suspension piece or alignment or something wrong. So let's look at it again here from the ground view as they transition. Look at, you can't even see Field at all. You don't even know there's another car there. So imagine his view, and you can see him surge forward. It doesn't look, and that is a decel zone, so Gucci is in the right to decel there a little bit, but I didn't even see.
He took a lick,
Yeah.
dude. That was that was a straight uppercut and a boxer analogy, and it's like, I'm cool, dog.
Yeah, I'm
let's
good.
let's roll.
So Gucci's
Let's
wheels went
ride.
straight as he tried to control what was going on, but that's not going to be held on Gucci at all.
The
Gucci
OG
just got back on throttle and filled outside zone 3 like he was supposed to. So.
Okay, so because Matt Field's at fault, let's elaborate here. This is an NGK competition timeout.
Yes.
So Matt Field's at fault, also insult to injury. He is deemed at fault, and that would be an incomplete. So right now, Matt Field needs to get his car back together. He needs to throw down a gangster run out front, and then he needs Gucci to have an incomplete in order for him to advance on.
Exactly.
So Aasbo, Chelsea Denofa, Forsberg, they are watching, at the edge of their seat because they're already in it. I mean, look at on that left side, Osbo, Forsberg, and Denofa, top. They are in the top 5, and here's Matt Field, our points leader, incomplete, little hampered. That's a big blow to the system.
It is.
That's a big shakeup to the championship standing. So let's advance on. We'll come back, finish out the one more time battle of Gucci and Field. Right now is Jonathan Castro, Simon Olson, both these guys in Toyotas. But the 2J under the hood of Simon Olson and his Boost Race Fuel, a Norwegian Drift champion. And it looks like Castro might have left early, so we'll get him as we watch. Look at those Forge Stars take a licking and keep on ticking.
And it sounds like Gucci is taking his 10-minute allotment to look at his car as well, as he's allowed to do so without taking a competition timeout.
And that would be similar to the, sorry to cut you off, that would be similar to the Forsberg Odie situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, was that? Oh, wow, so that was not a false start.
Oh, wow. So we can see them rolling. Castro is still going on there, turning around now. But, his car just stopped.
Oh, no. So that was not a false start. Unfortunately for Castro, that was his start, and that was not a false start, which means that would count, and he would have to, once you leave that start line, if it's not a false start, that counts as your run, and that means that counts as your run.
Yeah, that's a real blow to Jonathan Castro, who qualified 3rd this round.
Oh, man.
Probably one of his better qualifying sessions. So right
So
there
he
you
goes
see
initiates.
he was accelerating maybe into 2nd gear, and then the car just died. Simon Olson behind him gets on the brakes, wonders what's going on. Doesn't see his restart light, so he's curious, probably wondering what's happening. And that it sounds like Jonathan Castro is calling a competition timeout and heading back to his hot pit area for the team to have a look at the car.
Wow, what an interesting turn of scenarios. Few different one more times, a couple mechanical failures. Let's go down to Lorette and Nico, who's got an update. Lorette.
For Matt Field, the clock is still ticking. We're at 1:46 right now, and again, this is the competition timeout. Matt Field is sitting in his car, and he's watching the live stream, and he's watching his battle against Ken Gucci, the part where Ken hit him, and Matt's trying to make sense of the call. The team right now, they're trying to bend back the bash bar and adjusting the toe. You can see the team in the front of the car, and Matt on the radio with his spotter.
All right, thank you, Lorette. And, making sure that it's straight is kind of the biggest thing. We saw this earlier with somebody's rack, yesterday. We saw all these different things. They're gonna use every second. You saw the toe plates there. They're lining it up. Looks like, they're gonna pull off. They said, fire it up. You got to do what you got to do. And this is shaking up. I mean, again, it's not over yet, but that is a big blow to the Drift Cave team, this Matt Field team. So,
and just to clarify, Lorette's at the very back over there. She doesn't see the action live.
Right.
She stated that Gucci hit Field. It's in fact Field that hit Gucci, just for clarification.
Yes, thank you. So our NGK competition timeout, talking about NGK. NGK makes ignition coils. Why? Because we prefer a running partner that can keep pace. We know ignition, and since our spark plugs don't run alone, we put some of our energy and expertise into making a better coil. NGK ignition coils are engineered to OE durability and performance, and because we race to win, we continue to improve the design. NGK ignition coils picks them up. All right, so carbon Kevlar, he covered up a little bit of race tape there. Man, the hits just keep on coming. So Castro with A little bit of a blow there and calling that comp timeout. Whew. The plot thickens. So as we move on, what was to be our last battle, we still have other battles to complete. Again, one half of both the Taguchi field, the other half of the Castro Olson, which it was just a failure to launch. Right now we move on to Jonathan Hurst, the pride of Paducah, AZ Rags BMW, against Japan's own, the By Now Japan S13, that's Wataru Masuyama. All right, so here we are, taking a look. Again, we have already 5 drivers in. Our Link ECU Grade 8, who's coming in to join him, Jonathan Hurst, coming out swinging. I believe this is his first Grade 8 in FD. Initiates, big, aggressive initiation. Past that inside clip, goes into that first outside zone. Transitions into the second outside zone. Wataru Masuyama, looks like Jonathan Hurst, big angle past that second inside clip. Well done by Jonathan Hurst. Down to that final outside zone. Fills all of it, Masuyama, you can see him finding it. Man, great job by both the drivers. You see Masuyama exceeding just a little bit right before the finish line. I'll tell you what, Hurst popping and locking, throwing some dirt on his Masuyama. But if you can recall again, Jonathan Hurst had a treacherous round 1. Broke his toe, broke his foot.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, as we look at the replay, what I want to focus on is outside zone 2 from Hurst. So as they come through inside clip 1, slightly off there. Good job from both of them. Hurst, you can see the hands going in there. He takes out an angle, grabs a handbrake in an awkward spot offline, and Masuyama's got to kind of check up and not smash into him, essentially. Definitely threw Masuyama off, and as he comes through the finish line here, he does build up quite a bit of proximity and gets right in there compared to where he was earlier on. So, you know, Hurst missed outside zone 2, had a big handbrake pull, where we wouldn't like to see a handbrake pull, to be honest. And Masuyama avoided, you know, getting into him there. So I think it was a good job for Masuyama avoiding any kind of contact through that area. For Masuyama now, he has a couple of opportunities here to improve upon what Hurst did in his lead run. Hurst missed outside zone number 2 and had a sort of a weird decel there with that handbrake that you could see kind of threw off Masuyama a little bit. So if Masuyama throws together a clean lead, fills zone 1, zone 2, gets by inside clip 2 with good momentum there, then Masuyama might have an advantage lead to lead comparison wise. In terms of the chase, Masuyama was doing a good job right up until that decel. I guess it wasn't really a decel, but the handbrake
just a little
pull.
checkup, just like you said, a little awkward, a little
that
checkup.
Handbrake pull offline at outside zone 2. So I think he was doing a great job until then, and he got back online, got back to his mimic just after that. So in that sense, Hurst is going to have to do a great job in the chase. The chase can only be as good as the lead, right? If there's a mistake in the lead, then the chase has to adapt to that, and you can't really blame the chase for those mistakes when it's the lead that made them.
The Drift Cave team, very busy there. By Now Japan, Wataru Masuyama. I know Drift Cave operates this vehicle. Drift Cave is Matt Field and his crew's shop. And here we go. Masuyama out front, as you said, analyzing that. Love this eye in the sky. I think it's great to see. Look at that 101.4. Big, massive entry there from Masuyama. Can Hurst hang tough? And no, he does not. He spins out, he rotates. Masuyama continues on through the course. Into that second clip. Look at Masuyama. Absolutely on pace. You think he likes his track? Duh. Yeah. This is Masuyama land right now. Well done. 101 mile per hour, very fluid, and I would say that this kind of has a J-type feel, so it might suit his driving style. We've seen Masuyama compete at Formula Drift Japan, and here he is throwing down a really good run, and unfortunately for Hurst, I believe this is going to be the end of the road, as you saw that kind of checkup, and now spinning out, that just really seals in the flavor.
Yeah, you can see here Masuyama initiates right behind him. As Hurst initiates, he's coming in a little bit faster, and then he ends up understeering, throwing angle in the car, and the car over-rotates, and he incompletes behind Masuyama in the lead position. Masuyama doing his thing, laying down a great line. So let's watch this from above. You can see Hurst closing in there, and then his front wheels are pointing left for a while. Gets trying to get the car to get that front end to bite, and then once he gets around that corner, the car over-rotates, he spins, and he'll be given an incomplete for that.
A great battle, unfortunately, just Masuyama dominant over Hurst for Hurst, but guess what? The Buy Now Japan S15 gets the win. Wataru Masuyama advances on into the Great 8. Look at, so again, we have seen a win from Denofa, no win from Forsberg, win from Osbo, not from Power, have seen one from you. So again, still anybody's game. I don't know why I'm kind of counting all my chickens right now. I'm just getting ahead of myself here, but just looking at all the variety of one more times, comp timeouts. We're only in the 16. We're starting to coagulate that 8. So Osbo and Power already in it. Forsberg versus Denofa. Dylan Hughes waits to find out. Will it be Gucci? Will it be Field? Waiting patiently or impatiently are the other 3 top 5 drivers. Matt Field buttoned up with that race tape, but Gucci waits in the wings because guess what? Gucci, he's sitting on a large advantage here against our current points leader. And it reminds you, 56 points. So where Osbo lands, TBD, Forsberg, Denofa, it's interesting.
Yeah, this is a do or die for Matt Field right now. Not only for this event, but potentially for the championship.
Yep.
We don't know how the points are going to play out. We don't know what's going to occur in Irwindale, but to have, what is it, 56 point
coming
lead
into this round.
Right.
So imagine if he won, right, or wins, excuse me. I know it's not over yet. I mean, sorry. But imagine if he won and Osbo, Forsberg, Denofa, if they advanced on, or if they got knocked out, that would just create this huge gap.
Yeah.
I'm in entertainment. We're trying to educate but also entertain. I like it going down to the wire, and it has come down to that for many years.
Yeah.
I don't like a runaway. Like, if we're crowned a champion at 32, it's dominant. We've seen it happen before, but I like it all the way down to that final battle. Remember, Osbo Gittin, it was down to the final battle, baby. Yeah. And that means you got wall-to-wall action from Long Beach to Irwindale. That creates the best show.
But as a driver and a competitor, Matt Field
you
would
want
love
to lock it in
to have
one
that locked
round,
in right
one
now.
round left.
Yeah.
That's a flex. You're like, you know what?
Doesn't care about your entertainment.
I don't need to run, son. So here we go. Here we go. This is a big battle here. Matt Field sitting on that deficit, but he does have the clean air. He's going to throw down a gangster run. And Ken Gucci, he's got to play it strategic. Matt Field goes now into that second outside zone. Ken Gucci would love to play spoiler. A big straightening there by Ken Gucci. Oh, and that's going to be all she wrote.
That front left potentially was not repaired adequately for Matt Field. There could have been an issue there. The front could have been binding up. Any combination of things could have been happening there. Matt's going to be disappointed with this one, unfortunately for him. It's a tough pill to swallow.
This track has proven to be difficult in many different ways. Attrition, the speed, there's no bunching up points, but walk us through, what do you think happened?
Well, let's have a look here as they go by inside clip 1. Gucci taps inside clip 1, and then Gucci transitions here. Doesn't look like he straightens, but then Matt Field is on a very tight line coming through there. Looks like the car maybe got to angle and bound up, and he couldn't get the car to unwind there. Hard to tell. Let's watch it from this angle and see if we can see what happened. He gets the car to angle there, and it almost looks like the
Look
car's
at that
stuck.
handbrake.
Yeah,
see how much handbrake he was pulling? He was trying to get it out there.
Yeah, he
Look at that front left. Absolutely just, oh, come on, hold. Hold. And it just did not. The Beast from the Bay. Look at that. Our points leader is going out in 16. We'll make it official here in a moment. But that is a huge blow. Matt Field, he dropped 15 to 18 points to Osbo. So again, the +3 there. So that is a huge blow to the system of the Beast from the Bay. So it's going to be coming down to Irwindale, kids. And where it lands, 32, 16, 8, 4 finals at CBD at FD IRW. Yeah, so just get an update here. Matt Field will end with 558, and Osbo at minimum will be at 520. So yeah, so look at that. The gap narrowed from 56 down to 38 with quick math there. So wow. How we doing out there? Look at, we got kids, we got babies, family affair out here. Got drift fans of all ages. Little man's hyped right there. Kids just being thrown around like piñatas. No big deal. Just throw them around. No big deal. Okay, easy there, Braves fan. You are brave, throwing your kid around. How we doing out there? Make some noise, Utah. Let them know. Utah Motorsports Campus. You love an FD here in the building. We've already seen some amazing battles. We have, again, to finish out the second half. How's the popcorn, little lady? Is the popcorn good? Yes or no? How about it, homeboy? Is it good? Good popcorn? You want to share some? Kick down, man. Why don't you never offer me any popcorn?
Cinnamon candy corn.
Candy corn?
Cinnamon.
Oh, cinnamon candy corn. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was very tempted walking by that trail.
Yeah, I know. I could smell it from here, actually.
Just can't eat and talk.
If we had
barely talk as
smell-o-vision.
it is. So.
I know, right? All right, here's the second half of this battle. Our final driver to join the other 7 in the Great 8. And remember, Castro left the line, but unfortunately came to a halt. That was his run, so he's sitting on incomplete. Simon Olson could enter into the Great 8 for the first time. Oh, look at Castro. You can see him shimming his way in that chase position. Simon Olson fills that first outside zone, the second outside zone. A Norwegian trip champion coming to us from Norway, piling that 2JZ boost race fuel. Super, look at Castro. This is what he needs to do, but I think it's gonna be too little too late. Some shimming in that chase position and brings it across the line.
Castro put on the pressure. He knew he needed to.
Yeah, but just Simon Olson gaining confidence just with every turn in the Formula Drift Championship. So well done by Olson, but unfortunately for Castro, he's going to get knocked out there. Simon Olson will unofficially get the win.
Yes. Castro was putting on a lot of pressure. He was really close. He was putting on a great chase run on the transition from inside clip 2, which he hit. He straightened up for quite a considerable amount of time there. The car settled, and then he kind of reinitiated again. So that was a pretty significant error there in the chase as well. But I think it was, that lead where the car turned off or whatever the issue may have been that really sealed the win for Simon Olson.
Really sealed in the flavor. So unfortunately for Castro, he's knocked out. But Stuke, Simon Olson. Simon Olson, the boost race fuel Toyota Supra, the 2JZ engine, Norwegian drift champion. The face says it all. The pursed lip, the beast from the bay. Live standings, there you have it. So live standings after the 16 going into the 8. 558, Matt Field, that's how he'll end the day. But look at that, so you got 558, 520 for Osbo, Chris Forsberg with 482, and then you got 480. Shouldn't they be reversed there?
Oh, yeah.
Right. And then 479. All right, so flip that around.
So that's Ryan Turk. That's Chris Forsberg.
There we go.
That's right.
Thank you. All right. All right, so again, so 558, 520, 484, and 482. So we got to, again, Chris Forsberg, Ryan Turk, and then that was Chelsea Denofa down there with 470. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Seeing Matt Field being knocked out in 16, our Grade 8 is settled. The Link Engine Management Grade 8, when we come back, the official engine management of Formula Drift. It's a beautiful backdrop. It's a beautiful day. Who's going to win? It's going to be another surprise victor. We've had 6 rounds, 6 different winners. We have a 7th different winner here in our 2022 championship. This is Type S, and it's sprinkling, right? Holy cow, when we come back.
Link is the engine management solution for champions the world over. We know what it takes to win. Pushing boundaries, performing under pressure, and having the best people on your team. Our tech support are performance specialists, available 24 hours and ready to talk one-on-one about your winning formula. Link ECU, the performance, reliability, and power to get to the podium.
How does one car going wild in the mall help us tell the GR story?
You're right.
We need more cars.
The Falcon Azenis RT660 is the enthusiast choice for ultra-high performance. Engineered for predictable handling and stability, the RT660 provides maximum traction both on and off the track. Your competitive edge has arrived with the Falcon Azenis RT660.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American Airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
When you have a lot of money tied up in your transmission and differential in your car, kind of like I do in this one, this is a must-have. Royal Purple Max Gear High Performance Gear Oil. Even under severe squeeze film conditions caused by sudden shock, extreme high loads, or low RPMs, Max Gear helps reduce bearing wear. I am pretty sure we put this to the test more than anybody else. Slippery, synthetic, and complete with Centerlick technology, Max Gear reduces wear and friction, which allows your gears to run smoother, quieter, cooler, and longer. Drift tested and ready for your gears. Royal Purple Max Gear.
What's up guys, Frederick Osbo here, and I'm doing a car breakdown of my number 151 Rockstar Energy Toyota GR Supra. So let's start off with the heart of it all, the engine. This is a B58 motor, which is the motor that comes with these cars. It's a straight 6, 3-liter turbo. This one's stroked to 3.16. Run a big Borg-Warner turbo. We run ethanol fuel, and it makes, depending on the track, from 900 to 1150 horsepower. A factory shell, obviously, as per FD regulations. We're running a Pandem body kit, Motegi wheels. These are billet custom wheels, built specifically for what we're doing. Inside the car, gutted as it should be. Running a full cage, obviously, with the NASCAR style door bars, the OMP rally style steering wheel, the 2-spoke, which is my favorite. Factory dash, the factory steering column, running a G-Force GSR transmission, which is pretty much industry standard in drifting. It's quite busy in the back, even though there's no trunk compartment really. We have the fuel tank in here, the radiators in the rear, again to promote a rear weight bias. The nitrous bottle right here. We're running usually around a 200 shot of nitrous. This is the car that we won the championship in last year, and we haven't really changed a lot of things up for this year, simply because we think we're close to having extracted all of its potential. All the other guys in the field have done major improvements, so we know that we're going to have to continue working on our setup, working on our skills, working on what we're doing to hang with the best of them. And that's our plan here in Long Beach this weekend.
And there we are, the current standings, 558. Matt Field still retains the lead, but I'll tell you what, Osbo, Forsberg, and Denofa, 2, 3, and 5 are currently still in the hunt because they are still in the competition of today. Aasbo will go against Power, Forsberg versus Denofa. So we're talking championship there, but right now, Aasbo versus Power. And no joke, it was super sunny and hot, and then it was like an aggressive talker just showed up and just spit at us when they're talking, and just spit on the track and then left. So, but that being said, it was literally just, and then just left. So the drivers are not requiring a sight lap. They're just going for it. Full pull. Let's send it, kids. Frederick Osbo, Mike Power, our first battle for Link Engine Management. Grade 8. Osbo will lead, being our number 1 qualifier. Mike Power, bring up the rear. Coming into view of the... Oh, Mike Power overshoots it. A wide swing there by Power. Osbo now goes in that second outside zone. And oh my goodness, Mike Power goes off course.
Into the wall, Jared. Into the fencing with the signage on it.
Holy cow, Mike Power shoots off to the left. Want to make sure he's okay. He backed it in.
Looks
wow.
like he just hit a fence, nothing secure. You know, it moved pretty easily. So he should
make
be
sure
safe.
He's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thumbs up from him. Oh, man. What, dude, well, he got loose on initiation. Watch him transition.
Yeah.
So here, we'll take a look at it.
So it looks, we're having many situations here where the chase drivers.
He got lost in the smoke.
Yeah, where chase drivers coming into initiation, as they're coming into initiation, there's an issue where the chase drivers are diving in really fast, and maybe they're trying to make up a little bit of proximity on that lead car. And when they throw the car in there, the front end tends to wash out. So it's an area where those chase drivers are really pushing harder than the corner can allow for, maybe, because we've seen this on a few cases.
Us through. What do you think happened here?
Where the chase, well, that's what I think happened as they initiate. Look at, he's closing in. See how much he's closing in? He's going maybe too fast for the corner. The car ends up, the front end washes out, and then, like you said, he's on a bad line because of that. He's in the smoke. He transitions too late, and then he goes off course right there. Because he does get back on throttle, he gets into that zone, and he's in the smoke completely, and he just doesn't transition enough and ends up going off course into the fencing.
There was fencing. That's for, obviously, our signage. You could see between the Pro Spec Type S. There, our tire wall is back there, so that's good. I'm glad.
But he still was going fast enough to blow out those two big tire walls.
Yeah.
So it was pretty high speed. Yeah, significant speed going in there.
All right, so the two spotters, Scott for Mike Power and Stefan Papadakis for Frederick Osbo, they're conversing, and Mike Power is saying he is okay. So as long as he's, as long as he's okay, that's good. He did back it in. Round of applause for Mike Power and for obviously Frederick Osbo. That was pretty wild there. So again, yeah, well, while we let that settle down, Lorette Nickel is with Matt Field.
If there is a silver lining here for Matt Field, it is that he still retains the championship point standings, the lead. And from your perspective, what happened against Ken?
I was trying to leave the appropriate amount of space between us. Our car is substantially faster, and on entry, gave him some room. It seems like right at outer zone 1, he threw a lot of angle, like how's he's going, and I closed in on him quickly. Very surprising there. And as we transitioned to outer zone 2, I just transitioned, blipped the gas, and literally he stopped in front of me through the smoke. So I watched the replay from the outside, and it definitely doesn't look like that. But you watch my in-car, and I literally go, whop, transition the car, there's Ken. We were just on different strategies, I guess. Our car is really hooked up, and I didn't get a whole lot of laps with it hooked up like this. So I think that, it's twofold when you try to give room. You give somebody room, you get smoked out, right? You apply pressure, you're there, but you run them over. So I think it was still the right decision, but it's just I probably should have lifted off the gas the split second. Like, that's the difference, If I would have lifted off the gas and maybe he would have picked up the throttle at the same moment, we probably would have been golden, and it would have been an amazing transition, but instead we're here.
Matt, thank you so much. Guys.
Thank you so much. And Matt was referencing this run right here where he says, boom, he's right there. That's where that split second. He was referencing that contact because Ken Gushi led first, comes on, boom, he's right there, and that's what he was saying. So it was in-car. Like you just said, you were elaborating. We just saw this between Osbo and Power.
Yeah.
That outside zone 1 to 2, you're blinded by a curtain of smoke.
Yeah, and you can see, as he said, I gave the throttle a blip, whop, and you can see his car surge forward there. That's 1,050 horsepower, which is what he has listed. That blip of the throttle with the traction, it looks like, based on what he said, that he shot forward, and Gushi was there through the smoke. So it's a difficult smoke, screen to go through, and hope the car is not in your way.
We did get word that Mike Power is calling a competition timeout. So Mike Power, who went into the fence, and he calls his NGK competition timeout. I see Lorette down there, potentially going to wrap out with him. But NGK, high ignitability. What is this talk all about high ignitability? Well, high ignitability is the ability of a spark plug to maximize combustion efficiency for the most complete fuel burn. And NGK is leading the way. Modern engines demand simultaneous precision and durability to achieve uncompromised performance. Special tips, precious metals, and NGK know-how converge to create a high ignitability plug to deliver a quicker throttle response, smoother idle, and better cold starts. So, if you don't want to be left at the starting line or out in the cold, choose NGK high ignitability spark plugs. They're lit. How we doing, ladies? You having fun? Chatting it up? What's cracking? My man, a big A's fan right there. We got A's San Diego. We got a bunch of baseball fans here. We having fun, ladies? You good? Got that tall boy Budweiser? Keep the party going. All right. Having fun out here. Yep, you're on the Nope, not at all. All right, so there we are looking at Mike Powers' vehicle calling that NGK competition timeout. And you can see that thing backed in there. Let's throw it down to Lorette. What's going on down there?
As you can see, Mike Powers sitting in his car, and I ran up and I said, "Are you hurt? Are you okay?" He said, "Yep, I'm good, no problem." He got lost in the smoke, is what he said. The damage on the car is cosmetic in the rear. The car does feel fine, but he was just calling the 5 for safety to check everything over.
All right, thank you so much, Lorette. And all right, so judge is still scrutinizing what's going on here, but again, would have to call that comp timeout. Seemed independent. And looks like we are straightening out the track. All right, still straightening out that track after outside zone 2, where Mike Power just went into. So when we come back, we'll continue with more action. Don't go anywhere. Type S. Elevated is elevating to the scenario. Round 7, man. This is action-packed. Don't go anywhere. It's all presented by AutoZone.
Level up like Adam LZ and get rewards. Head to AutoZone and buy 4 or more NGK Iridium or Ruthenium HX spark plugs to earn a $5 bonus reward. Add an NGK ignition coil or an NTK oxygen sensor on the same transaction and get a limited edition Adam LZ t-shirt. Offer ends August 23rd, so act now to score the deals. Power, passion, performance. From the ignition and sensor specialists, NGK and NTK. Visit AutoZone.com for more details. Some restrictions may apply.
The feeling of drifting a car sideways, it is the ultimate form of car control.
It's the calm before the storm, and it's about to go down. It's going to be a dogfight.
And clean start, here we go.
You take that breath and you kind of hold it for 1 split second, and then let's go, let's do this.
I think what the judges want is an all-out battle every single time.
Since I've been doing this for so long and I haven't won a championship, I've come close multiple times. You just got to do one event at a time, one day at a time, but do I want to? No.
Are you ready to send it?
That look on this face right there, that's game time. I'm going to try to take it all.
Look at that, Osbo. You can't count anybody out. Oh my goodness, holy banana cakes.
Oh my goodness, this will give you massive anxiety.
Jesus Christ, back up my blood flowing.
It's time to turn it up. We need to stay within striking distance of this championship.
I've won the championship twice now, 2015 and 2021. Going back to back, well, puts me in a very elite club. I think we can do it.
Look at that. All right, we'd love to speed this thing up and get them rip roaring and ready to go. And we are seeing our next competitors. Let's see them in the burnout box. Send it, boys. We should be seeing Chris Forsberg, Chelsea Denofa jump into that burnout box. We'll revisit the Osbo power battle after they got lost in the smoke. We're in the Link engine management. Great 8. Forsberg and Denofa, they got a lot of history in the past. And now they're about to throw down at uncharted territory. A brand new track, a brand new venue. Let's throw it down to Lorette Nickel, who's with Ken Gucci.
Earlier today, Ken told me that this is a new track, new challenges, the car is awesome, but you're feeling uncomfortable out here, and maybe was that the case against Matt there?
I mean, you know, even now that we're in the grade 8, I still don't feel 100% confident with my driving on track. And slowly but surely, we've been increasing our grip levels. And I knew Matt is a fast driver. So after our first set of battles, we went one more time. I cranked up the grip on the car. I went out and got hit. And then on the chase, his run-up was significantly slower. So that kind of caught me off guard going into inside clip 1 to outer 1, and then at outer 2 I made a mistake by going too shallow, but in front of me he over-rotated the car, and that was it. That was the call.
And you also told me that you're trying to find consistency here at the Grantsville, Utah track, so do you feel like you're doing that?
I don't think so, no, not yet. I mean, we're constantly looking for grip and speed, so the consistency isn't quite there yet. But my confidence for my team is definitely high, so I'm just going to leave it up to them, trust their instincts, and just go all out.
All right. Yeah, and absolutely, you said you were going to do your best. So how do you do that moving forward in this next battle?
I mean, our next battle is going to be Dylan, who's also another consistent, fast driver. And so I just have to, you know, go for it, I guess. There's no real strategy, but just to put it in his door on the first lap out and hopefully smoke him out on the second lap.
Ken, thank you very much. Jared Ryan.
Thank you so much, Lorette, and of course, some good transparency there from the Goosh, obviously. And our next battle is to be, you can see Frederick Osbo. Frederick Osbo waiting to complete the second half of this battle. That's you, that's me, that's us, that's we. Everything's fine, right? Everything's fine. All right, thumbs up from new fans, old fans. Give me some of it. We got blankets. We got, I mean, dude, again, we have seen all 4 seasons today. So it's been quite an adventure. Throwing some shakas. Got a Gucci fan right there rocking that Threes Racing, Gazoo Racing. Got Adam LZ fans in the building. See LZ hats. Got some FD lids. What else we got? Who you repping out there? And I'm seeing seconds ticking down, and this is for Mike Power. This is for Mike Power, so waiting to see what's going here. Mike Power, thumbs up from him and his team. And he should be leaving here momentarily. He says, you know, hopefully it's cosmetic, but fired up. And let's see him go against Frederick Osbo. Looks like should be starting it up and should be good to go. Coming us from New York, Mike Power and that power drifting. Ready to send it. Put it in gear. Give it another gear, Gary. Just with seconds left, gets it together right down to the wire. Hats off to his team. Get the car back together after just a wild ride going off into the fencing. Again, the live update as far as the leaderboard. Matt Field, 558. Frederick Osbo, 520. If he keeps advancing on through this competition, that gap between him and Matt Field, who's been knocked out in the 16, that gap will close. Also, you see 2 other competitors, but they're going against each other, so one of them will advance on. The points stop there. Mike Power will jump into the burnout box. So will Osbo to finish out the second run of this battle. Obviously, Osbo with a major advantage a major advantage after Mike Power goes off into the fencing. So Mike Power going to warm up his tires. Entering that Pedal Commander burnout box. Shout out to the Conklin family watching from Maryland. Cheering on their East Coast drivers. And again, warming up those tires, getting ready to go. A lot of the drivers join us out here in the stands. Join some adult libations cheering on this very fast track, very unique. And Mike Power pulls up to the start line. Frederick Osbo will enter. Defending champion, second in points. Josh Love, how we doing, man? See Robert Thorne out here. Robert Thorne, congratulations there to the right, Robert. Our Pro Spec champion, congratulations, buddy. Right there in the ASM shirt. Cheering and watching. Robert, we're gonna see you in Pro next year? He does throwing hands up in the air. So yeah, there's Robert Thorne. There he is, your official 2022 Link Engine Management Pro Spec champion. The ASM BMW won in Jersey, showed up in grand fashion at round 1 in Orlando, but put it all together 4 rounds here in that 2022 championship and locked it up last night. Congratulations to Robert Thorne and the ASM team, our 2022 Link Engine Management Pro Spec champion. Here we go, back to the action. We are seeing now Mike Power will be out front, Frederick Osbo in the chase position, and doesn't matter if you go off once, twice, have these mistakes, it's an incomplete regardless, so there's, you know, no unit of incomplete, kind of no measure of incomplete. It was just purely incomplete. So here we go, Mike Power, he's gonna initiate Frederick Osbo, giving chase. Mike Power initiates into that first inside clip. Frederick Osbo right there. He's not backing down, even though he has that advantage. It's a good opportunity to have his way kind of, you know, getting used to and familiar with being in the smoke. And it looks like he is doing that. So Frederick Osbo, Mike Power, a great run out front right now, but unfortunately with that big mistake and an incomplete, Osbo will be moving on. Great effort for Mike Power, the furthest he's gone in FD Pro competition.
All right, Jared, as we look at the replay, you pointed out really well. They both did a great job, but you can see Power here is on a very tight line coming to inside clip 1. He hits that inside clip 1 marker. Osbo just stays right where he's supposed to be. You can see he's slightly inside for Power on outside zone number 3, but overall, Forsberg. Osbo did a great job in the chase position there, really placed his car well, and he's going to move on due to Mike Power's incomplete on the first run of the battle.
And there we are looking at Dylan Hughes getting suited and booted. He is the next battle. He'll be going against Gucci, who was very transparent, honest, saying about his confidence, where he's at, tuning it up, gripping. He says he's still feeling not very comfortable, but I'll tell you what, Dylan Hughes has went against Trent Beecham, who was very aggressive. He went against one of his best friends out here on course, Travis Reeder. So some awesome driving. All right, so let's see. And looks like they are going to be pulling up here. All right, so we can see Chelsea Denofa, Chris Forsberg pulling to the line. Here we are. We said it earlier, but changed it up on us as again, the battle of PA, Forsberg and Denofa, the one more time battle. So they are going at it again. Or sorry, no, I apologize. No, this is not one more time. This is where we're at. So So we thought they were going earlier, kind of bouncing around here, just all the confusion. But Frederick Osbo is in the Final Four, and to be honest, he is guaranteed a podium. That's what's crazy, is because he's our #1 qualifier. So trying to make this a perfect event. But Forsberg is on the line. He will lead. He qualified 4th. Chelsea Denofa qualifying 5th. So look at that, 1, 4, and 5. Dylan Hughes qualifying 2nd. Taguchi 7th. And obviously we'll get down into the other drivers, 19th and 22nd. Wow, and Osbo just moved within 25 points of Matt Field with that victory. All right, we are getting ready to see them run. Chris Forsberg on the line. Chris Forsberg, Chelsea Denofa. All right, and we are sending cars. Forsberg on the line. Chelsea Denofa giving chase. Chris Forsberg, Denofa. Again, 4th and 5th in the standings. Let's see where they land. One of these gentlemen, the point stop here. One of them is going to continue on. The all-new NOS Energy Drink Nissan Z on GT Radial tires. Big entry there from Forsberg. Chelsea Denofa bring up the rear of that Penzo Mustang RTR Spec 5. Chase him down, getting buried in the smoke. Getting all that second outside zone is Forsberg and Denofa. Trying to get to the side of him is that Ford Mustang. Now let's see how they transition in that final outside zone. Forsberg gets in it. Buries that Z in it. Denofa, good proximity. And comes unwound across the finish line. Gets some tire in it. That it was across the finish line. He does power through. Dropping some tire. Don't know if there's contact there. Again, man, just a fast. We were talking about not getting bound up at this track. Not the case, because these drivers are going for it, man.
Yeah, they are. Great initiation by both drivers there. Well, actually, you can see Chelsea not doing a great initiation, I'm sorry. And then right there, a little bit lower angle. On the transition here, he looks like he goes a little bit wide, but manages to control that beautifully as he comes by inside clip #1. A little bit lower angle there. His transition here is really controlled. Look at the lack of angle. And then he pours it on afterwards. It's like the car is really grippy. Have we heard that at all this weekend?
Yeah.
The car looked really grippy there as he transitioned.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, rocks flying everywhere.
Oh, yeah, it's the rocks underneath Chelsea's vehicle.
So on the transition here, low angle, goes off a tire there. It seems like the car, pretty good line through here, but he's definitely gripped up to the point where the car doesn't want to transition very aggressively. It's not like Chelsea to not have those big transitions. Maybe he'll throw it more in the lead position. He did bump Forsberg's door there after they went over the finish line, but I don't think it was of any concern at all. You just you're not seeing the movement in Chelsea's car that we're used to seeing. Usually the big swings and a lot of angle. It looks very controlled, like the car doesn't want to rotate the way he needs it to. So Chris is going back to his hot pit, it looks like. I don't know if
contact was made, so I have to assume he's going to assess.
All right, we're gonna have to get somebody back there to talk to him.
All right, so the scenario is let's review what's going on here. All right, so now there was Chris is saying there was contact. It did look like contact, so basically fault needs to be assessed. If Chris wants to take a look at the car, let's take a look at it again here. Whoa, look at Chelsea. You could see just the attitude of that car. Now coming into that, again, that second inside clip. Contact, I mean, it has to be at the finish line. There were, you know, they weren't close. So this is what we're going to look at here, Ryan.
Yeah, so as they come across the finish line, that's where Chelsea touches Forsberg's door right there. You could see the movement in Chris's car.
Wheel. Yeah. All right, so even though it was beyond the finish line, that still comes into play as far as getting hands on the car.
Yeah, so this view will give us a good sight on it here, so we should be able to see that contact from the eye up in the sky. I believe it's right after the finish line, and then they both kind of drop a tire right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you guys need to deem fault, and that would basically say that that, you know, Chris could either get hands on his car, not utilize a comp timeout. Just FYI, Mother Nature, because we don't have lights here. That's the only light we got. That big light in the sky. Just FYI.
The big glowing ball.
Or if everybody wants to turn on their cell phone. So
fault was assessed.
All right.
On Chelsea Denofa, and you could see him surge right before the door hit. He really looks like he just gave it that extra little bit just after the finish line. Made contact with Chris. And they just want to get eyes on that front suspension to make sure nothing was touched.
All right, so checking the alignment and just that little nuance there, because here we are going into, further into, the Link Engine Management Grade 8. So we'll move on. We'll go back to the second half of that battle. Right now we move on to Hughes and Gucci. Snoqualmie, Washington zone going against Okinawa, Japan, or Los Angeles, the Angelino Ken Gucci. All right, Dylan Hughes currently sitting 6th in points. So Dylan Hughes and Ken Gucci with a top 10 sitting coming in this far. So looks like Dylan Hughes, that Permatex fast orange BMW sitting on the start line. Again, with a victory earlier this year in Orlando. Dylan Hughes qualifying 2nd, taking out Beecham, then taking out Reeder, and now going against Gucci. Gucci having gone against Mohan Field, and that got pretty tumultuous there, and some battle damage to his GR86. And we can see the Threes Racing Monty's vehicle pulling up to the start line. We're looking inside. It's got that John Reed Racing, looking at the temps, the pressure, oil temp, nitrous bottle PSI, all the critical components. And looks like we are ready to go. So now back to the start line. Dylan Hughes, Ken Gucci, the Link Engine Management Grade 8. Link Engine Management, the official engine management of Formula Drift. All right, Dylan will lead. Gucci will give chase. Ken Gucci can leave before the lights extinguish. See if we've got a clean start. Everything's saying that we do. Here we go. Oh, look at that, tip to tail. 103, 103 miles per hour on initiation. Going past that first inside clip, swinging into that first outside zone, into the second. Again, that drone gives just all the truth telling. Ken Gucci being transparent about just being comfortable on the track. Now in that last outside zone, nice job by Dylan Hughes using all the track. Just barely hitting that gravel towards that finish line, but that was really well done on that last outer zone. Let's take a look at it. I want to focus again. 103, but did they hit the right line, Ryan?
Coming into inside clip 1, you can see Dylan's off of inside clip 1, but he does get into outside zone 1 and outside zone 2. Right here, Gucci gets on a tighter line and hits inside clip number 2 pretty significantly. He pretty much center punches it with that front bumper. As he transitions here to outside zone 3, Dylan is nice and deep in outside zone 3. You can see him pretty wide there, almost all the way out. So let's look at this again from this angle up in the sky as they transition. Gucci leaves outside zone 3, pretty much at the right spot, but maybe over angles a little bit and then goes tight on inside clip number 2. Hits that clip marker, and as we come to outside zone 3, Gucci starts off in the zone but leaves it probably a third of the way through and then is inside that zone for the rest of it. But in the lead position there, Dylan misses inside clip 1, does a great job on the zones. I think he's off inside clip. No, he's pretty tight on inside clip 2. It's just Gucci that goes too deep, too tight inside, and then Dylan does a great job in outside zone 3. So as Gucci goes into the lead now, his opportunity, basically he's got to do as good as Dylan did everywhere, and the one place he can do better is inside clip number 1.
All right, let's pull him back up to the start line and see the order of operation being switched up. We'll see Gucci out front and Dylan Hughes. Dylan, like I said, he went through Beecham, went through Reeder, pushing hard. We saw, obviously, Gucci going for it, that brand new vehicle. Looks like that bumper about to fall off, so we'll just go ahead and pop that thing off. Hood pins being placed on, and plenty of ample time. Thumbs up for Chris Forsberg. Again, getting that contact right there towards the finish line, so that will not, so plenty of time there. Only using just about 4.5 minutes. Seeing what's going on underneath Ken Gucci's car, minus that front bumper. See maybe a splitter or something down there. And let's see what we got. Yeah, it's definitely his splitter just hanging there. He's asking him, hey man, do you mind? I got to rip this thing off.
Just step on it.
I apologize, man. But we got to get that splitter off. Watch your hands. Don't cut him. Ooh-wee, Rick. Ooh-wee. All right, watch yourself. There we go. All right, there's Chelsea Denofa pulling away from his pits. Don't know if he utilized the competition timeout. But there you can see him pulling up. Denofa and Forsberg. Right in front of them, you can see Wataru Masuyama. All right, so confirmation, Chelsea did not utilize his competition timeout. Here we go, back to the action. Ken Gushi will lead. Dylan Hughes giving chase. What does Ken Gushi have for Dylan Hughes out front, and what does Dylan have for the Goosh? See this initiation, initiating 100 miles per hour. Pass that inside clip, well done. Good execution by Gushi out front. Transitioning out, and there we go, more contact. That gosh dang smoke signal. So contact was made. Oh, smoke signal. And that combination, that sun. So imagine going in, I mean, we're looking directly in the sun. I mean, that was a combination of Mike Power and Matt Field. He has the power, he went against Gushi. Oh man, gutted.
Looks like a bit of damage to the front left.
And that's exactly where he hit him. You saw him just go into that back right corner.
Yeah, it looks like Dylan didn't really transition fully there and drove almost straight into the back of Ken Gushi.
Let's see how this happens. See how this unfolds.
So let's watch the replay here and see how it's occurring. Watch Gushi as he transitions, and then look at right there. Hughes goes straight. He doesn't even get the car rotated. The car goes straight, and he drives into the back of Gushi in that area. So right here, keep an eye on Gushi as he transitions. It's a smooth transition, but as you said, looking straight into the sun, going through smoke, and he goes straight. Car's completely straight.
Blinded by the light. Yeah. Wrapped up in a goosh in the middle of the night is what happened. Man, that was, I mean, that is just an absolute cotton ball. You can see that front left, the Forge Star slamming in, the bumper taking the brunt of it. Ah, that is such a bad scenario. So as unfortunate as it is, you know, Gushi did not have that incomplete. Dylan straightens out, so the dozer just goes ahead and bulldozes in the side of Ken Gushi. So Ken Gushi gets the win. So Ken Gushi gets the Mahdi's Toyota GR86 advancing on. Dylan Hughes comes in 6th after his successes so far, but Ken Gushi, who sits in 10th, could jump up if he continues this success. So we'll clean up over there where Mike Power, excuse me, and then now Dylan Hughes goes off. But 2 drivers in, we have 1.5 battles left here in our Link Engine Management Grade 8. So crazy event. The sun, the smoke trails rearing its ugly head. So crazy turn of events. You can see just clearing up the track. And it's crazy, that sun wasn't even there, and then he goes and initiates. So, yeah. Oh man, quick cleanup. When we come back, quick little 3-minute break. We'll be right back and continue on with our next battle. Don't go anywhere.
At O'Reilly Auto Parts, we know how important it is for your car to look sharp and run well. And we're here to make that as simple as possible. Get all the parts, accessories, and tools you'll need for your next project delivered right to your doorstep. Just place your order online and leave the rest to us. You'll have everything you need at your door with free shipping the very next day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. The first time you try Pedal Commander, you'll feel Made in Japan. Breed.
Your future in high-performance motorsports begins at the University of Northwestern Ohio.
There is no other school like UNOH to teach you the things, not only for Monster Jam, but for the hot rod community.
With 70% hands-on learning, no out-of-state tuition, and top-of-the-line instructors, you'll go from learning to earning with the industry leader in motorsports education.
I love waking up to come to school.
This facility here has all the tools and instructors and knowledge that you need to go out and be successful in the field.
Your journey to the fast lane begins at UNOH.
Welcome back to Utah Motorsports Park and Campus. Man, Utah Motorsports UMC playing host to the Type S Elevated. Man, I'll tell you what, competition has been elevated. It's been bonkers out here. We got just a few more, maybe an hour left. We got fans down there on the fence. They're hyped. They're feeling the flow. That's right. We're trying to see this. Yes, sir. That is what's going on. A family affair. We got drift fans of all ages. We got babies. We got babies of all sizes. Talking about, yeah, all you big babies out there. My man's got, that's a heck of a backpack, bro. That is an official backpack. It's a frunk. It's a frack. I don't know what you call that. That's a front pack. Here we go. Back to the second half of this battle. The second half, we saw that contact between Denofa and Forsberg right there at the finish line. Now Denofa will lead, Forsberg giving chase. This is the second half of this. Again, that contact that did not impede on the outcome of it, but a great run. Here we go. Denofa out front, Pennzoil. Mustang RTR Spec 5D, and it looks like it is a restart. A restart by Denofa. That Pennzoil Mustang RTR Spec 5D. Chris Forsberg makes his way back to the start. That all-new Nissan Z, the NOS energy drink. All-new Z on GT radial tires. Chelsea Denofa on Nitto tires. All right, Chelsea Denofa hitting the cone as we make a quick run in the pod racer out here in Utah. Going for the jump. Here we go, send it, blurp. Utah Motorsports Campus playing host. What do you say, Utah? You having fun out there? Make some noise. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day in the neighbor. Here we go. Chelsea Denofa out front. Chris Forsberg in the chase position. 108.7 miles per hour, the fastest we've seen. Chelsea Denofa, that wide swing in that first outside zone. Transitioning into the second outside zone. Now into that inside clip goes Chelsea Denofa. Big, massive angle there. Now, bathing in the smoke is Chris Forsberg. How he stuck with that is unbelievable. Now into that last outside zone. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-wee! Send it, kids! 108.7. Went ludicrous speed. Wow, he went plaid. Wow, take a look at this entry here from Chelsea Denofa. Oh, doctor, baby.
Yeah, that was fast, Jared. He did go wide on in-clip 1, dropped a tire potentially there in outside zone 1, but kept it on the track in zone 2. You can see Chris trying to gain momentum. Chris is hiding in the smoke basically behind Chelsea Denofa, and he did a great transition there, but missed outside zone 3. You can see Chelsea filling it nicely. Chris struggling to keep up in the chase position.
I think it might have been an advantage that he was out of the smoke signal, where Chelsea's line allowed him to kind of be out of the smoke signal, not so much going inside clip 2 to the final outside zone. You saw him actually just marinating in it, man. He was like a tri-tip steak marinated in the smoke, in a smoker, but ludicrous speed. We could see some Chelsea fans out there, and remember, this is the second run of this battle. We saw, you know, it was quite a few moments ago that we saw both of them. I believe we're going to have to see a BC Racing side by side, or at least show that first run. So pretty good run from both the drivers, but want to assess what happened and what went down in that first run. Now remember, keep in mind, Chelsea Denofa currently sits 5th in points. Forsberg sits 3rd in points. And again, the point stop here for one of these drivers. The winner of this battle, notably going against Frederick Osbo, who is slowly inching up on Matt Field, our points leader. All right, so as Forsberg and Denofa wait the outcome here, Gucci is the winner on the other side of the bracket, but on the other side of the Link Engine Management Grade 8 is Wataru Masuyama and Simon Olson. And Olson and Masuyama will be going against Ken Gucci. And just recounting that first portion of that battle with, you know, we saw Forsberg out front, Denofa got in the back of him, but it was towards that finish line. And now taking a look at the high-speed entry. Some, you know, we saw how it unfolded. Fastest we've seen so far, but again, that is not a judge criteria. 108.7 miles per hour. Our judges scrutinizing the runs. Here's our BC Racing Go for Gold side by side. Forsberg leading on the left. That was the first run, and what we just recently saw here on the right.
Yeah, I've got sort of my decision in my head, but I'd like to see a side-by-side here to really kind of finalize it. Looking at the proximity between both drivers and also the achievements that the lead drivers were able to perform. The proximity with Chris in the chase is not as good as the proximity with Chelsea in the chase. Both of these were pretty solid. Good job by both of them there, but yeah, that kind of helps me out right there.
All right, so let's go to the judges. Again, the winner going against Frederick Osbo. Some amazing driving. And again, here we go. So slide of left for Forsberg, right for Denofa. That's 1 vote, 2 votes, and 3 votes. Chelsea Denofa, the highest speed entry, gets the win. That Pennzoil Mustang RTR Spec 5D moves on. Again, our winner in Seattle, our most recent winner, going for it, going for the gusto, takes out Chris the Force Forsberg, sits 3rd in points. Obviously, the point stop there for Forsberg. We'll see where he lands. I believe he should be at 484. So Denofa should advance above Ryan Turk. He has 475. He'll jump up after that victory. So one more battle left in the Link Engine Management Grade 8. We have Osbo and Denofa, who do have a victory earlier this year. And then on the right-hand side, Ken Gucci, who, you know, Dylan Hughes got to the side of him, so Gucci got the win. Now Olson from Norway, the furthest he's been so far. Wataru Masuyama, the furthest he's been so far. So Chelsea Denofa does jump up to 3rd place after that victory. Again, the margin of points just that narrow. So going from 5th to 3rd just like that. Here we go. Simon Olson will lead over Masuyama. He qualified 19th compared to Masuyama, qualified 22nd. That Boost Race Fuel Norwegian driver. We're gonna have 2 Norwegians in the finals, or we're gonna have 2 Japanese drivers. Here we go. Simon Olson initiates. Wataru Masuyama right there on the door of that all-new Toyota Supra, transition into that second outside zone. A little bit of checkup there. Masuyama keeps composure. And now coming into that final outside zone, Masuyama, the Buy Now Japan S15 into that last outside zone. Simon Olson does not get all the way out there. Masuyama falls and tracks him down. Some confidence by Olson being conveyed here in Utah. Happy man right there, Chelsea Denofa. Again, most recent victor in Seattle. His mindset, go for it. Have fun.
Now, what I'm told about these newfangled high horsepower drift cars in Formula Drift is that if you're off throttle, the cars tend to straighten up. And I'm seeing a lot of this on the transition between zone 1 and 2. You can see Masuyama there straightening up significantly as he looks like he's off throttle on the transition, and the car just goes straight on him right there. As he transitions to outside zone 3, he's on throttle. Good mimic on line, could be a little bit closer on proximity, but he is positioning his car well. So this is the problem though right here. As he transitions, car goes straight, and then he transitions into a bit of low angle drifting behind Simon through outside zone 2. So that is a bit of a problem on Masuyama. We'd love to see a lot more angle there. You can see in the lead, Simon does miss outside zone 1, does a better job on 2. In the chase, Masuyama follows him in 1, but does not go all the way out to 2. Seemed like I said, the car didn't want to transition, and the car did not kind of flow out to outside zone 2. It sort of stayed mid-track.
Laying this way.
All right. I also was probably game.
So Chelsea Denofa got himself in the conversation with 492 points and racking them up. The RTR team. I know Vaughn's watching at home. See Adam LZ up here in the spotters tower cheering on his RTR teammate Adam LZ. Fortunately not making top 32, but we'll see him at Irwindale. And now we'll alternate the order. Wataru Masuyama, Simon Olson. Now look at that sun. So again, just when they go from right on initiation, they take that hard left, they're looking directly into that sun. So some are hoping it drops behind, obviously in due time, literally. It'll be behind those mountains, but it's gonna get dark on the track. It's gonna change the dynamics. So we need to expedite this, kids, but that is the variable. Mother Nature is just shining bright like a diamond in the face. Again, blinded by the light. Here we go, Masuyama out front. Simon Olson, give it chase, initiating. You see that big angle, a little bit of handbrake there coming in, massaging it into that inside clip, into the first outside zone. Simon Olson falls back. Now how is Masuyama gonna handle this inside clip? Could have been a little closer. Simon Olson tightens it up. Now coming at the last outside zone, Masuyama all the way out there. Look at that, right on that razor's edge. Maybe picked up a pebble with one of the tires, but you did not see any evidence of it. You didn't see the little brown cloud. You just saw flirting with that line, flirting with that track edge. Great job by Masuyama out front.
Yeah, that was a great lead run from Masuyama. Simon was missing a couple of the zones in the chase position, so let's look here. Tight on inside clip 1, good on zone 1, good on zone 2. Simon was inside on both of those. Masuyama misses inside clip 1, but Simon stays on the right line through there. As we go to outside zone 3, Masuyama deep in zone 3, really deep in zone 3 for part of it, and Simon's on the inside slightly for most of it. So chase to chase, the question's going to come down to whether or not Masuyama incompleted in his chase in transition between outside zone 1 and outside zone 2. We do have a side-by-side coming, so we'll get an idea of how bad that was and comparatively what it looked like as both cars in the chase are going through that area. So Simon Olson leading on the left, Masuyama leading on the right. And the transition for Masuyama is right here. Straightens up quite a bit. You can see a handbrake pull trying to get the car sideways again. And that might be just too much to give Masuyama the win, as that was pretty significant. And we have incompleted other drivers for the same type of straightening. So
wow,
that unfortunately I think is going to be an incomplete in my eyes.
Yeah,
for Masuyama in the chase. And it's unfortunate that he did that because his lead run was so good.
Slide him left for Olson, and there you go. Simon Olson gets the victory. So a great run by Masuyama, but the judges catching something that my naked eye did not see. So that's why we have those different angles, those different perspectives. You know, just thinking about it, just all of those tools being utilized. There is our Type S Final Four. Wow. So we have two winners we've seen on top of the box, Osbo and Denofa. And then on the right side, Gucci and Olson. So again, Ken Gucci qualifying 7th, Denofa qualifying 5th, Simon Olson qualifying 19th. So we will see, here are our current standings, 558, look at that. Denofa jumps up to 3rd, Forsberg holds on to 4th. And the big thing here is, guess what? If Denofa passes Aasbo, he's going to the finals. And you can see 492, 550, not enough point, the win, so 100 to, what's the points at stake here? Again, 100 points at stake for the win. Taking a look at their current point standings. But some awesome driving from all the drivers. Our fans sticking around. Our Final Four is upon us, our Type S Final Four. Thank you to all our sponsors. Of course, our ACT Advanced Clutch Technology Track Condition Report. Sun's about to go down, kids. And if you haven't already, the track report brought to you by ACT Clutch. Be sure to check out ACT's all-new Mon Twin Clutch at advancedclutch.com. Well, he's leading the standings at the juncture, so we'll see if he holds on to it going into Irwindale. But let's take a ride along with Falcon Tire, Drift K, Boral Exhaust, Feel the Heat Wave, riding shotgun with the Beast from the Bay, Matt Field.
What up, everybody? This is Matt Field. Here we are at Formula Drift Round 7 at Utah Motorsports Campus, and this is your Type S course preview. So you clang this thing into gear, hold the handbrake, wait for the go-ahead, and launch as hard as you possibly can. Be sure not to hit a cone and start rowing through the gears. First, second, third, clutch kick to get a flick, toss the cart as hard as you can. Now you want to run wide and hit the inner clip 1 at the very last second. Left foot brake out of outer zone 1, and no lift transition to outer zone 2. Slight dab of the handbrake, and reel in inner clip 2. Power, power, power. No lift transition, quick handbrake, get on the throttle, and left foot brake to try to maintain the car's position all the way through outer zone 3, and finish off. That is your Type S course preview.
Welcome back. The Final Four is upon us. The sun is about to set, not only in the sky, but also on this event. I would have to say that this has been a great event. The debut at Utah Motorsports Campus, UMC, the inaugural first ever. We saw 108.7 miles per hour from Chelsea Denofa. He finds himself in that Type S Final Four. So does Frederick Osbo. Frederick Osbo sits second in points. Early on, Matt Field gets knocked out. That is an update to the action. So, again, Frederick Osbo in the mix. He's in the conversation, second in points. How much further can he go? That is TBD for the Norwegian Hammer. On the other side of the bracket, you have Ken Gucci and Simon Olson. This is the furthest Simon Olson has been, and here he is going for a podium. He would need to get the win in order to get that podium, but he's on the outside looking in, and regardless, he's still in the conversation. Let's throw it down to Lorette Nickel. Lorette.
Simon pulled into his pit and he yelled, "I love drifting so much." He's having the best time. Simon, for the first time in your Pro FD history, you have advanced past the top 16 into the Final Four. What is working so well for you?
This is, I don't know. We had a tough or good event at Gatby last week, and I got the win there. So maybe it's the winning way. Maybe it's the car that's running phenomenal. The team is doing fucking awesome. Sorry the language, but everything is just working perfect, and we played it out well here today.
Okay. And what's the strategy moving forward?
Just send it and do the best I can.
Simon, thank you so much. Jared, Ryan.
All right, so awesome, great job, and this has got to be, gaining some confidence here for him. That boost race fuel. He is a Norwegian drift champion. Got that PBK helmet, and looking good, feeling the flow. The carbon Kevlar kit looking good. Little HGK action. Some fans sticking around hardcore. It's a beautiful evening here, Saturday night, Saturday afternoon. So thanks for joining us out here. You can see the field suspension being highlighted, got those coilover covers. But first up, we'll be seeing Osbo and Denofa. All right, so we are seeing Osbo and Denofa. They will be first. Great shots. You can see the grassy knoll there. Our fans, we have the grandstands just outside that final outside zone 3. Again, congratulations to our winner last night, Blake Olson, in the NVTC, the night vision. Yo, feeling it. Height. That's right. We are worldwide, baby. Let everybody know. Utah knows how to party. Seeing a little drift raft beanie there on Homegirl there. Shout out. Shout out to our boys in Vegas. Hey. And we are waiting for Denofa. Paging Mr. Denofa. Mr. Denofa, you have a telephone call at the front desk. And we are seeing both the cars now entering that Pedal Commander burnout box. Here we go, first side of the bracket, Osbo versus Denofa. Frederick Osbo, he got the win in, what round was that? We saw the winners from previous rounds of competition earlier, but Denofa in Atlanta. So we saw Osbo get the win in ATL, and then Denofa most recently in SEA, that is Seattle. So there they are, our previous winners. So Turk, Osbo, Hughes, Reeder, Taguchi, Denofa. Is it going to be a back-to-back for Denofa? Osbo? Osbo is guaranteed a podium at minimum 30, qualified number 1. So even if he loses, he'll get that number 3 spot. And actually, if Osbo wins, Denofa will get 3rd. So that's the scenario here. That's a scenario because we got qualified 1 and 5 on the left side of the bracket. So they are guaranteed a podium. Where's it going to be? 1, 2, or 3. Denofa warming up those Nitto tires. Pennzoil, Mustang RTR Spec 5D. Osbo will lead. Denofa giving chase on our first battle of our Type S Final Four. Type S, the official lighting of Formula Drift. Osbo on the start line. You can see Denofa. Again, that's 108 miles per hour earlier. Let's see what kind of speeds we see from Frederick Osbo. And that sun, I'll tell you what, is absolutely wreaking havoc on vision going from outside zone 2. There's Gucci, he waits. He's going against Olson on the other side of the bracket. We saw Gucci get the win at Irwindale a few years ago. Chips keep falling his way, but right now, here we go. It is Osbo versus Denofa. We got number 2 and 3 in points in the championship. Who's gonna get the win? Who's gonna advance on? Osbo. Denofa initiating almost simultaneously into that first inside clip, now into that first outside zone in the second. Now coming in big angle for both of them. You can see, not as aggressive is Chelsea Denofa. Maybe playing strategy here, backing off a little bit, but no tucking it now on that last outside zone. Gaining some applause from the spotter stand up here, but look at that sun. Could you imagine throwing smoke in front of that while you're ripping sideways?
Yeah, being the chase driver going through that smoke has got to be a challenge right here. Chelsea does a good job of getting his car positioned really well in the chase position. Osbo's laying down a really clean lead run, so Chelsea knows he has a great lead run ahead of him to follow. So at initiation right there, you see that Chelsea has a little bit of a bobble there coming to inside clip 1, but on transition, gets his car positioned nicely. Osbo's doing a great job in the lead position of laying down that really solid lead run that Chelsea knows he can follow. Chelsea transitions. It looked like early, but he managed to make it work. He missed the beginning of outside zone 3, but you can see that Osbo was in it for the majority of it. Osbo was off of inside clip 1. Chelsea took that advantageous line by going close to inside clip 1. And as they come to inside clip 2, both did a great job through there. You can see Chelsea there transitioning really nicely. Misses the beginning of outside zone number 3, but gets into it. And Osbo does a great job on 3 from beginning to finish. So again, watching right here, that bobble by Chelsea in the chase, I think was his only real mistake as he transitions for zone 2, really nicely positioned. Osbo's really getting himself put through this track flawlessly. You don't see any concern from him. Great line all the way around. He's in the box and outside zone 3. Maybe leaves it just as the zone finishes there, but overall, great run from both drivers.
All right, there you see Osbo's team cheering him on. I love that we got the First Wives Club over here cheering him on, but they're standing next to each other actually. So I don't know. I want to see you guys fight. I want to see you guys arm wrestle. I'm talking about the ladies. The wives of the racers that are on track are up here in the spotters stand. They just gave each other a hug, but they'll fight later, no big deal. Here we go, Chelsea Denofa. The fighting is on track right now. Chelsea Denofa will lead that Pennzoil Mustang RTR Spec 5D. Frederick Osbo in that Rockstar Energy drink. Both these guys on Nitto tires. Simultaneous initiation. 109, baby! Oh, doctor, come on now. First outside zone. Transitioning into the second outside zone. Frederick Osbo with the gold. Oh, knocks him out. Throws some more angle on it. Chelsea stays in it. Holy cow. With the assist on the drift. Chelsea Denofa staying in it. You saw Osbo come from the rear. A little gravel being thrown up. I have never seen the Scottie Pippen assist. They gave him a little bump up. Holy cow. The Nitto tires kissed, and they shot him over there. Look at that back
Wow.
left. That's where he got into contact. He shot him out, and Chelsea Denofa stayed in it. I want to see that back right. Thankfully, that's the second portion of this run. We're going to have a winner. Are they going one more time? Amazing battle right here. Just collecting our thoughts, and now the work begins.
That was incredible. You could see that that was a high-speed initiation. It looked like Denofa maybe a tire off in outside zone 1, but Osbo was right there with him. So let's confirm it with the replay. So look at that big initiation from both drivers. Osbo's right there. Chelsea does go 1, maybe 2 tires off in zone 1. Does a good job in zone 2. And then Osbo gets into him a little bit, gets pushed to the inside there, and I think his tire's off at this point, and he's just trying to milk the car through the run. You can see the tire coming off, left rear. It blew the fender off, basically, there, as it came off the car on transition. You can see that over fender just blow off. That was pretty impressive. Chelsea does drop a tire in outside zone number 3 as well. So in terms of precision, yes, Chelsea was going really fast, but he didn't keep the car on the track in a couple of key areas. So right here, he did drop potentially 2 tires. I think he was over the rumble strip to the other side, hit that outside zone marker, had a big slowdown there, and then Osbo got into him. The tire came off, probably cut the tire there, and then watch the transition here. The tire's going to come off and blow the over fender off. There it goes, and he completes the run, missing a big chunk of his fender.
Yeah, after you could see it, that angle shooting down the side of Osbo's car, you saw the tire off, and then when it's pieced out, look at that, because that was the back right that Denofa had contact with. Wow, that was pretty bonkers. What do you say, Utah and Formula Drift World, about that battle there? The first battle. Come on now, Utah, make some noise for these guys. Are you not entertained? Come on. Working hard for it out here. So the question is, where are my Frederick Osbo fans at? Make some noise. Where are my Chelsea Denofa fans at? Make some noise. Where are my drifting fans at? Formula Drift, make some noise. A little bit louder there for the Pennzoil Mustang RTR Spec 5D, and you could see that back left just exploding. That again, both these guys on Nitto tires. The Nittos kissed, they pieced out. You saw that back left of Osbo DB'd, but then when it just is, you know, spinning around there on that last outside zone, that's when it exploded. So as we take a look here, some amazing speeds, but you got to take into consideration what Lantain was saying, precision. So slide him left for Osbo, slide him right for Chelsea, and Frederick Osbo gets the win.
Yeah, and it comes down to exactly what I was talking about earlier, Jared. Precision. The high speed is incredible. We love watching it, but Chelsea made too many mistakes. Going off on outside zone 1, he was fully 2 wheels off, and then as he transitioned to outside zone 2, he was off throttle too long there, and he floated the car past the zone. He didn't get on throttle until well beyond the end of the zone, and then Osbo just had nowhere to go at that point, as that is an area where you need to carry momentum. You have to get on throttle, and Chelsea did not. You know, carrying that high speed, if you don't slow it down, you're gonna go offline, and it's gonna be difficult to stay on the track. And then of course he dropped a tire in outside zone 3 as well. There were a lot of mistakes made by Chelsea through that run. It looked incredible. Of course, it was stylish and it was aggressive, but we need that along with precision to find a winner.
I'm going to use a gun analogy here, like a Mitchell 50 cal, right? Doesn't matter if you got a cannonball. It's a big weapon, but unless you hit the target, it really doesn't matter. So he had a big weapon there. That is the Pennzoil Mustang RTR Spec 5D, and him as being a marksman, unfortunately just didn't hit the target when it came to that first outside zone and threw off. Osbo obviously through there. Contact was made. Tires going off. Obviously sensational, but Frederick Osbo advances on.
Right.
Did you get that analogy?
I did.
Thank you. All right, here we go. Ken Gucci, Simon Olson. So the lead is now down to 14 points between Field and Osbo, and the big indicator here is if Osbo gets the win, not only is this a second win of the victory, they only have 2 this round of competition, but also that closes the gap on Matt Field, and obviously it's coming down to Irwindale, baby, the House of Drift. Let's move on to the second battle of this link of the Type S Final 4. 2 drivers we have not seen on the podium this year, Simon Olson and Ken Gushi, a brand new car for Ken Gushi. Simon Olson, we've seen him in here for a couple years, a Norwegian Drift champ, driving that Boost race fuel, 2JZ powered Supra. So again, the comfort level Ken Gushi, regardless, he throws a 97. He talked about that earlier with Lorette Nickel, past that first inside clip. So quite a contrast here going to these guys. Oh, Simon Olson, big correction. Probably got lost in that smoke. The sun, not as much of a factor. It's tucked behind some clouds, but now, speaking of clouds, here's a cloud of smoke in your face, Simon, as Ken Gushi rounds out that final outside zone. And again, like I said, that sun is about to dip behind the mountains. It's behind clouds right now, but it's about to dip behind the mountains. And we got a couple more battles left.
All right, looking at this replay, Jared, as they get initiated. Gushi's on a nice line here, gets to inside clip number 1. Simon's right there with him, but does not go to outside zone number 1. Transitions early and misses outside zone number 2. As they come to inside clip number 2, Gushi's slightly off that clip. Simon takes the opportunity to stay on the clip and gain a little bit of proximity, but then in outside zone number 3, he does not fill the zone. He doesn't get near it. While Gushi, I think, has his tire in the box. Maybe we'll be able to catch it from this view right here. Gushi does okay on 1 and pretty solid on 2. Simon in the chase is kind of missing the zones, not getting near them, but does a good job on inside clip number 2. As they come to outside zone 3, this is where Simon is not placed right, and you can see that Gushi's tire is right on that white line, the inside line for outside zone number 3.
And there's that back left corner. That thing's absolutely smoked. Sheesh. That wheel and tire seen better days. That offset, man, look at that deep dish. That is insane. Dude, do you even stance, bro?
I call that a piece of art.
I called it a piece of art, he says. Yeah, I mean, you know, again, Sean Hillier is not pumped right now. I'll tell you that right now. Sean, part of the Papadakis Racing camp. But if you're going to risk it for the biscuit, baby. And the biscuit is that number 1 position. Here we go, the second half of this battle. Simon Olson, Ken Gushi. Olson will lead, Gushi giving chase. Let's see what we got. Simon Olson is the furthest he's been in Formula Drift competition. Gushi, we saw him on top of the box most recently at Irwindale a couple years ago. Can he do it again? His all-new build, debuted in Atlanta, GT86. Here we go. Simon Olson, 2JZ, Boost Race Fuel, Toyota Supra, 96.8. Going to that inside clip, dials it in. It's going to that first outside zone. Second outside zone goes Olson. Gushi just a bit shy, just a bit short. Now coming into that second clip. Nice job by Olson. Gushi with a wide swing. Can he bring it back? And it looks like Gushi falling back a considerable amount. Again, both these guys just, you know, you saw that big separation there, some mistakes on either side. This is really, I think this is where we need to see that BC Racing go for gold, side-by-side instant replay.
Yeah, that side-by-side would be helpful, I think. It looked like Gushi was doing a good job until after inside clip number 2, but let's have a look at the replay and verify that. Great job by Gushi in the chase of being close to Olson on initiation. You can see them, Olson was a little bit off of inside clip 1, but Gushi's following his line really well as they come by inside clip 2. This is where Gushi falls off. He goes wide here past inside clip 2. And then as he transitions for 3, he's pretty far behind now. In the lead position, it doesn't look like Olson is filling outside zone 3, but it looks similar to what Gushi did on his lead run. So comparatively there, we're going to have to see.
You could see Osbo's team working on this. You could see the marks, seeing what's going on. All right, here's our BC Racing side by side, taking a look at this. Again, Gushi and Olson. Who's going against Osbo?
All right, Gushi leading on the left, Simon leading on the right. want to look at proximity, duration of proximity, and also line and mimic throughout the course. So as they go through zone 1 and zone 2, I think the lead drivers were pretty similar through there. The chase drivers here are, this is where Gucci falls off right here. Simon is on a much tighter line here. Gucci's just sort of on the same line, but far back. So that is 6 of one, half a dozen of another for some situations. But a tough one, Jared.
Yeah, this is where we're, splitting tire treads, man. This is where it gets a little difficult because it's just, who's just a little more dialed because, they both have their disadvantages. Who's going to the finals? Ken Gucci or Simon Olson? Ken Gucci going to the finals, an all Toyota final. So Simon Olson just a bit outside, 4th place for Simon Olson. That means Chelsea Denofa back on the box. It's an all Toyota GR Gazoo Racing final. Gucci and Osbo. Gucci, who said, man, not feeling confident, not feeling, exactly dialed, but guess what? He's in the final, and that's sometimes how it be. So right now, Frederick Osbo, you can see him giving some applause to his Toyota teammate, but Chelsea Denofa does lock up 3rd place, but now the big decision here is take a look at Frederick Osbo. All right, let's throw down Lorette Nickel. What's the updates down there?
So, Frederick, right now there's a lot of hands on the rear of your vehicle. What is trying to be fixed back here?
It's an almost comical amount of damage in the back. So obviously after that tap, we broke something in the back, and I continued throughout the run, or all the way through, and I just felt parts flying left and right and more stuff breaking, and got through somehow, and somehow we got the win. I don't know what was the judge's verdict on that, but now we're just trying to fix the mess I created. There's brake fluid everywhere, broke some arms. It's fixable, but is it fixable within the time allotted? We don't know yet.
Right. And so the clock has not started. We're in that natural break period that your team has the availability to work on the car. Once that clock starts, do you think this can all be repaired?
I think so. If there's anyone that can get it done, it's these boys. And we have the parts, we have everything. They're all white fab parts, easy to swap out. But it's a lot of work still, a lot of hands on deck, and I'm just sitting here waiting for us to fill up the fluid, and we're going to start bleeding the brakes.
And I think you just figured out you're going against Ken Gucci, your good friend in the finals. What are your thoughts on that?
Hell yeah, this is awesome. I obviously I know Ken really well. I love him to death. Class act and fantastic driver, and he deserves to be in this final.
And Freddie, I just wanted to inform you at this point in the day, you are now 14 points behind Matt Field in the championship race.
Oh wow, so the race is still on. That's pretty cool.
Pretty cool, and we still have the rest of this round, and of course, we'll go into Irwindale in a few weeks. Jared, Ryan.
Thank you so much, Lorette. Pretty cool. Like he wasn't
Thanks,
keeping
guys.
count.
Like they didn't
Like
know.
he didn't know. Okay, guys.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Well, gadzooks.
I had no idea.
Likely story. Look at just
throwing
throw
parts
around
away.
brake rotors and again wise fab parts.
Wow, there's a lot of broken stuff in
RSR
there.
suspension there. We're gonna throw that out. Oh man, yeah.
Throw that out too.
Yep, barely used.
Keep that for later, maybe.
Yep. All right, barely used RSR coilover from champion. Again, defending champion, I might add. He could be going. Here it is. Freddie going for. He would join that. He talked about it in that Controlled Chaos series. He says, I'm in a very elite alumni of having 2 championships. You'd be in another elite alumni wrapping up Irwindale as a champion. That would be, he'd be one of 3 3-time champions. Chris Forsberg, James Dean, and then Frederick Osbo. But again, just having a championship in itself, which Matt Field is gunning for. Chelsea Denofa, he's on the box. There you go. So the finals are set. Frederick Osbo versus Ken Gucci. Round of applause for all our drivers. Denofa is locked in for 3rd place. When we come back, our Type S finals, the official lighting of Formula Drift here at Utah Motorsports campus. The round 7, the pro finals are upon us. Round 7. This is the Type S elevated here, presented by AutoZone. When we come back, Osbo versus Gucci, all Toyota GR final.
For those who don't settle when others do, who will give everything but won't give up. For those who believe in unlimited while others limit themselves. For those who are set free by performance and believe innovation can take you anywhere. The first time you try Pedal Commander, you'll feel oh yeah.
The feeling of drifting a car sideways, it is the ultimate form of car control.
It's the calm before the storm, and it's about to go down. It's going to be a dogfight.
And clean start, here we go.
You take that breath and you kind of hold it for 1 split second. And then let's go, let's do this.
I think what the judges want is an all-out battle every single time.
Since I've been doing this for so long and I haven't won a championship, I've come close multiple times. You just got to do one event at a time, one day at a time, but do I want to? No.
Are you ready to send it?
That look on this face right there, that's game time. I'm going to try to take it all.
Look at that, Osbo. You can't count anybody out. Oh my goodness, holy banana cakes.
Oh my goodness, this will give you massive anxiety.
Jesus Christ, back up my blood flowing.
It's time to turn it up. We need to stay within striking distance of this championship.
I've won the championship twice now, 2015 and 2021. Going back to back, well, puts me in a very elite club. I think we can do it.
Look at that.
I'm Dylan Hughes, Formula Drift Pro Driver, and today we're going to talk about Royal Purple HPS and what actually goes into it. There's a lot of talk about additives, and Royal Purple has its proprietary Centerlick technology. It is fortified with a high level of zinc phosphorus anti-wear additive for exceptional protection against heat and wear. Its high film strength improves sealing between the piston ring and cylinder wall for maximum horsepower and torque. Royal Purple HPS, race car technology for the street.
Formula Drift is brought to you by Toyota, let's go places. Royal Purple, the official engine oil of Formula Drift, the synthetic expert. Rockstar, the official energy drink of Formula Drift.
Hi guys, my name is Ken Gucci here with the Toyota Gazoo Racing North America GR86 Drift Team, and right behind me we have our brand new build. It is a 2022 GR86. It was a pretty extensive build. It took about 5 months with the help of the guys from Entice Motorsports and Threes Racing. The power unit is not a very common unit itself. We actually took out the original F824 and used a 4-liter V6 out of a Toyota FJ Cruiser. So that's very unconventional, something you don't really see in Formula Drift or drifting in general. But this specific motor package produces 800 horsepower, about 700 pound-feet of torque, powered by 2 Borg-Warner EFR turbos on Link ECU. The sound of our GR86 it is definitely unique. No one out here runs a 4-liter V6 twin turbo, and honestly, I really didn't know what to expect. At first I was kind of scared because typically V6 engines do not sound good, so I was hoping that the way Entice designed their turbo manifolds would really bring up the sound and bring life to the engine, and it did exactly that. It is, however, a little bit on the quiet side, but the exhaust tone itself is really good. I really like the way it sounds, and hopefully, you know, the fans love it as well, as much as we do.
Wow, the sun is just dropping behind those mountains, so that means we only got a little bit more light here at Utah Motorsports Campus. The finals are set. If you're just joining us, we are live, baby. We are seeing Frederick Osbo. Taking a look, he's filling his brake fluid there. They bled the brakes. They put in new brake rotors out back. They put in new arms, getting that thing dialed in, buttoned up, and so Osbo trying to make things happen while Lorette cut up with the goosh.
Jared, thank you very much. So Ken, after the conversations that we've had today where he has told me that he is so uncomfortable, finally, we see you in the finals. This must be incredible for you.
Yeah, it's definitely been a wild ride. We've been getting hit left and right, and again, I'm still not 100% comfortable with the car on this track, but as the night goes on, my team has been doing a really fantastic job getting the car back together. It's actually pretty beat up right now after the hit from Dylan, but here we are in the finals. It's going to be a Toyota finals, so really excited about that, going against my teammate Frederick Osbo. But yeah, to be honest with you, I'm not really confident with my driving just yet.
Okay, so any damage sustained against Dylan, and are you worried about that affecting you in the final battle?
I definitely am worried about the damage that we've sustained. We definitely have damage. There's no fix for it right now. The subframe is bent. It's cracked, but not enough to where it's dangerous. Okay. So we're going to keep going and keep pushing. But wow, what a wild ride it's been. I didn't really expect any of this, but again, I just got to give it up to my team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ken, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck, guys.
And there we are overlooking Frederick Osbo's vehicle. Looks like buttoning up, putting the last few details now. All right, so that is a competition timeout being utilized, and obviously this is the finals. Use it or lose it, man, because you know. So he is using his NGK competition timeout, and rightfully so. Down to the last moments. Hey, he might not make it. I mean, they're still buttoning things up, and like he said, I mean, there was extensive damage there, and they bleeding the brakes, getting everything together, and also, how much trust does he have with what's been done and executed, alignment, all those things? You know, as they always say, it's not the $10,000 part, not the $5,000. It's the nickel part. It's the quarter part.
Yeah, that's a good point, Jared. They do have the right rear buttoned up, but of course the left rear is the one that had the hit, and the left rear is the one that is the concern right now. So we'll see if they can get it in the next, 3.5 minutes they have left. So the countdown is on, and we are going to be watching here anxiously to see what happens.
Interestingly, interestingly enough, you saw Stefan Papadakis give a little wave to the camera saying, hey, how's it going? Just feeling, I guess that's a good vote of confidence, but holding the parts in place, less than, you could see just less than 4 minutes, about 3 minutes left. About 3 minutes left. Buttoning up those fasteners. All right, so that back left corner, I mean, these guys have their corners set up. They have kind of corner boards where they'll have that back left, back right, front right, and basically they'll get them prepared. They have the spare parts. Doing this, you know, within, I would say, we've been, what, 10 minutes so far? So them doing this all hands on deck. They do this, I mean, they've done engine swaps in hours.
Yeah, but they only have about 2-something minutes left, and they still don't have the brake on, I don't think. Yeah, the brake's there.
Yeah, I see the rotor.
It's
caliper. I don't think it's going to make it. I think Ken Gushi's going to get the victory.
If we can see that clock,
220.
Okay, it's more than I thought. I underestimated there, but we're still just over 2 minutes now.
But what's at stake here is Frederick Osbo. He's in the finals, took that hit. He would have to fix it and advance on. And again, he went through. So admittedly, 2 minutes left. This is a 2-minute warning, baby. So what's going on here is Ken Gushi, not confident in his car, but guess what? He could very well win this round. You know who's watching kind of feverishly? Matt Field.
Yes.
Because, again, 100 points for the win. You know, the points at stake here. 100 points for the win, and then the further, obviously, you go down, the less points it obviously is. So coming in here, we talk about, you know, 14 now, but if Osbo wins 100 points, if he gets second place, how many points is that when you throw that? Do you have that graphic? Okay. All right, so as you could see, so it would go to 5, but I know, but the points at stake is what I was looking for, like second place.
So this is the points as it is right now.
Yeah, 5:58, that's where it's at right now. And a minute left, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So 91, so 8 points, and that could be, so yeah. I mean, this is a very, very big deal, you know, going from second to, and that's where he's basically at 91. And no, it's not going to happen. There's way too much work to be done for a minute. But hey, a grand effort. Hats off. Make some applause. Make some noise for these guys. And interesting enough, you know, Ryan Turk went out earlier, got into the wall, and you know, we see Frederick Osbo here, who gets into the finals after an amazing Chelsea Denofa battle in the Final Four. But it looks like Ken Gushi, hey, guess what?
Another winner.
A different winner for another round. So 7 rounds, and again, unofficially, but you can see Frederick Osbo cranking some Rockstar over there. Rockstar energy drink, the official energy drink of Formula Drift. Yes, he would. Ken Gushi would have to take a bye run, and that would be a celebratory victory for him, as it's not going to happen. Ken Gushi will unofficially be your winner, and Ken Gushi will get the win. Frederick Osbo in second, and an amazing turn of events here. So there it is. High fives all around. Frederick Osbo. Look at that. Round of applause, sportsmanship. Make some noise for Frederick Osbo. They can hear you in the pits. And with that, Ken Gushi, this new build being debuted in Atlanta, fought tooth and nail. And again, you heard the conversation with Laurette Nickel. He's going to warm up his tires. Again, running his own campaign this year, that Monty's Threes Racing Toyota GR86. It was to be a Toyota GR final. Hey, also, for those fans in the building, for you guys leaving, FYI, when leaving, there's no need to go back the way you came in. If you parked in the GA parking lot, walk towards your car. The gates are open into the lots. So again, there's no need to go back the way you came in. If you're parked in the GA parking lot, walk towards your car. The gates are open in the lots. All right, so third place, Chelsea Denofa. Second place, Frederick Osbo, closing the gap. Again, you saw the point standing. Denofa jumping up, Forsberg being knocked down, Ryan Turk being knocked down, and Gushi, who started out 10th, is now jumping up. Because here you go. His celebratory bye run as the sun sets, the rising sun rises. The OG, Kenshiro Gushi. Send in, here's your winner for round 7. The Type S Elevated, presented by AutoZone. The Goosh gets the victory in a celebratory lap, 96 miles per hour, as he rips into that first inside clip. Layout, listen, here's your winner in Salt Lake City, Utah. on down here in front of the fans. Kenshiro Gushi. Congratulations to him. And there you have it, a celebratory bye run. And we've seen this happen in the past there, Ryan. Just, you know, again, our winners kind of not having to do battle there towards the end, and joining them out here. I could see Chelsea Denofa making his way. We'll get Frederick Aasbo. Join us over at the podium ceremony. We'll give out the trophies. Also, we're celebrating Prospect drivers with a cocktail mixer later. And hanging out with them, that is obviously drivers and crew only. And coming on down, there you go. Hard parking it next to Kenshiro Gushi. And you know the outcome, but let's make some noise for him. We'll get Frederick Osbo down here after fighting tooth and nail. Thank you, guys and gals. Drive home safely if you're here in the building. We'll get Osbo down here. Make sure he's down here, and we will meet you over at the podium if you're here. And there he is jumping out of his car. Congratulations all around from these three drivers, these podium finishers, stepping outside of his vehicle. Some thumbs up, some high fives. What a battle between those two ledge. And there you go. Toyota GR, Goosh, and Osbo. All right, let's announce it. Third place here at the Type S Elevator, presented by AutoZone. Third place here in Utah. Larry Chen grabbing some photos. Congratulations to our third place podium finisher, piloting his Pennzoil Mustang RTR Spec 5D. Make some noise for Chelsea Denofa! Second place, because you already know we're gonna end it with our winner. Second place here, round 7 of the Formula Jet Pro Championship, the Type S Elevated, presented by AutoZone. Second place, piling that Rockstar energy drink, Toyota Supra on Nitto tires. It is your defending champion, Frederick, the Norwegian Hammer Aasbo! And last but definitely not least, he fought tooth and nail in a brand new car that was debuted earlier this year. This Mahdi's Toyota GR86, the OG since 2004. Make some noise for Kenshiro Gushi, your winner at round 7 of the Formula Jet Pro Championship. The Type S Elevated, presented by AutoZone. I throw it down to Lorette Nickel, who is with our winner.
Couldn't be happier for you, Ken, especially when you were talking about how uncomfortable you've been all day. And we haven't seen you with a win since 2019 in Irwindale. So way to celebrate here for this brand new round in Salt Lake.
Yeah, it took me all weekend until the final run by myself, a bye run, to finally get it down. And I threw a massive angle on the entry, and I think that was the run that I should have done in qualifying. But at least this time around, the time gap between my last win is not so long from the last time to the previous win. So I'm pretty stoked about that. But yeah, it's been a pretty wild weekend for us, getting banged up and hit left and right. But again, my team has been phenomenal in keeping the car together. Would have loved the final battle against my Toyota teammate, Frederick Osbo, but sometimes luck can be a part of skill.
Absolutely. And again, for a reminder for everybody, what was the damage to your car? And you're not worried about fixing it before Irwindale, are you?
No, it's an easy fix. Actually, we had the same damage coming out of St. Louis going into Seattle, and the fix was actually replacing a bracket on the subframe. We did the final run right now with a broken rear suspension component, but it held through, again, thanks to my team. But we're here, we won the event, we're going to celebrate tonight.
Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our Salt Lake FD winner, Ken Gushi. And of course, standing back here, don't go anywhere. Where are you going? Chelsea Denofa with that third place finish. It was well earned today.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was a blast out there. Osbo ended up taking me out. It was just a gnarly run overall. We showed up Thursday and we were not doing so hot. I got lucky on my qualifying score and kind of put something together But I think even still at this point, I've probably only done 14 laps here. So we were learning in every lap, and I was just pushing past to learn fast, and that was pretty much it.
And Frederick Osbo, you guys sustained some contact. Chelsea, what happened in your perspective?
Yeah, I left outer zone 1 a little bit late because I got on the rumble strips. It's a little bit slicker on that, and it kind of held me out. So when I transitioned, I was transitioning into outer zone 2 instead of to it. So I did my decel a little bit late in that zone. Still let it off and was good, but I think I just gave a bad opportunity for Osbo in the chase, and we ended up hitting rear wheels together. It's just an interesting call on that. You know, it's like I definitely was too late. I definitely was decelling too late, but I also was getting into the zone late, so it was on my bad.
Chelsea, thank you so much. And Frederick Osbo, a word with you. We saw you guys in the competition timeout. Your team worked so hard.
Yeah, I created a big mess for him. But, you know, it ended up not really being our fault, and Chelsea and I were rapping about it now, and we were both all in, and, you know, it was an honest mistake, and you know, I just disintegrated everything back there. So the boys gave it a valiant effort, and we just couldn't get it done in time. But, you know, to be up here on the podium after a couple events slump, feels great. Seeing Ken at the top, I mean, it's great. And what a place, what a venue, what a track. It feels unreal. It feels like we're in a video game, looking around the mountains here and racing at this beautiful course. So thank you, Utah.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please get loud for your podium here in Salt Lake. In third place, Chelsea Denofa. In second place, Frederick Osbo. And your winner, Ken Gushi.
Thank you so much, Lorette Nickel. Congratulations to Ken Gushi, 3 racing team. And you know what? 7 rounds, 7 different winners. The question is, who's going to win in Irwindale and who's going to win the championship? It comes down to the House of Drift. We're talking, you know, less than 20 points. Ryan Lantain, your thoughts about the event as we close this thing up. The sun is set, baby.
This is a wild event, Jared. I don't think we could have predicted just how wild it was going to get, but perhaps we should know better. A brand new track, totally unknown to everybody, minimum amount of laps. It's going to be wild.
Yeah, so thank you so much. On behalf of Ryan Lantain, Chris Yule, Brian Eggert, Sean Adriano, Ryan Sage, our president, the whole staff, thank you to all our sponsors, and thank you to all the fans. Thank you for making the Type S Elevator presented by AutoZone an absolute success. We'll see you in Irwindale, we'll see you online, and we'll see you another time, October 15th. We're going to send it at the House of Drift. Be there. Come on now. Thank you so much. My name is Jared Deanda. Send it, Formula Drift Nation.